Hello, hello, hello. All right, it's working. Hi. All right, we are jumping back into Winter's Wish today. It is me, Bunny, your friend, and we are here to hunt down hot boys, I guess. So we're on Kinji's route in Winter's Wish. This is going to be the second part. And right now, we've just officially got a job. We are working at a brothel as a trainee. So we'll see how it goes. Hi, Sleazy. Hello, Ninja. How am I doing today? I'm doing good. I started a lot later than I intended to because I was wrapping up Christmas gifts and getting stuff ready because I have a friend who I'm going to go visit tomorrow. And originally, I was going to give her gifts a little bit later, but then it found out that her kids were not going to be at the party we were going to, and I didn't want them to have to wait until later to get them. So I ended up being late for that. On top of that, I was just doing stuff in the house, so I will say at least my house is looking more but ready for Christmas, but I still got a lot of wrapping to do. So we'll see how today goes. I don't intend to play past 7 o'clock, but that could change. It's almost 2. I meant to start way earlier than this. I was really hoping to get through their story actually today and get to the next one, but I'm probably just going to tell my friend who let me borrow her game that I cannot give her game back on Christmas. Turns out 25 days is not enough days. Alrighty. About 7 days after that, I infiltrated the brothel. I was walking down Nakanochi Street, my fatigue visible to all. Oh, she's got a cute new outfit. Oh my goodness. Wow. I put a hand to my mouth and tried to stifle a yawn. The brothel, illuminated by the sunlight, was once again encased in black spider nest. I would have felt disgusted had I just arrived here. I'm completely used to it now. It was incredibly desensitizing, one could become. Now even they were the first thing I saw when I woke up. I no longer shouted in alarm. I could go right home, but there were bathhouses, tea stalls, and the like within the Redlight District. I'd finished the errands they asked me to run so that I wouldn't be an issue if I went to the tea stall and ate something sweet. But I wasn't supposed to have money. Oh, now that I was working at the brothel, I have a little bow on the top of my head. I realize it is invisible. This is exactly why I need to get new headphones. I want headphones that are like earbuds, but I have to... I hate earbuds. They always fall out of my ears. I have like, I don't know, weird earlobes or something. I don't know what the right word is. And every time I get them, they always fall out. If I start talking, they fall out. But I just want something less noticeable, especially since I don't play like shooters or anything crazy like that where I need to like really hear what's going on. This is just chill music and relaxing time. Also, I'd worked on something yesterday and I was talking about it with Jay and Asia. Just so I could keep track of the games I want to buy. I had saw another streamer post like a thing where like they put a wish list. Looking gorgeous today. Thank you. I was trying to look like one of the characters in the game, but it didn't really turn out the right way. Oh, that's my own sound. Hang on, let's turn that off. I was trying to find the note. It's in here. So I was making a random list. Just like every day. Aw, thank you. You're such a liar, but thank you. So yeah, I'd made this wish list thingy of just Atomi games and stuff like that I could keep track of. And then I finally figured out how to add things that weren't available on Throne to it. And it now has 44 items. There are 44 items in this friggin' thing. And now I feel more overwhelmed than I ever did. It didn't help. It did the opposite. It caused anxiety. But yeah, there's 44 items in there. I even have stuff I have pre-ordered on this list just so I have it as like a reminder. And then I was going to pre-order Tengoku Struggle, and I cannot. It will not let me. So I'm going to have to figure out where I'm getting that from now. I could do it online, but I usually get it from one place. Anyways, that was my random tangent. If someone saw me eating something sweet, they might think it's suspicious. That would be very bad. I had to hold back for now. I wonder what everyone's up to about now. Though not much time had passed, I intend Tensely missed everyone in the Oniwa band. I wonder if Otaro's doing well. I hope he's not making you Buddha angry. I wonder how Kinji is doing. Foolish expression suits you better. Thanks. As I remembered his smile, my chest tightened. Okuni is a nice person, but the fact that I am remembering such a thing must mean that I'm really lonely. I couldn't leave the Redlight District. If I wanted to meet Kinji and the others, I had no choice but to wait for them to come to the Redlight District. Oh, look, there he is. I love when they do this because you can see more of their actual outfits. Like, I didn't even know there was 2 presents on his robe until now. Huh? Is that? Was I seeing a hallucination because I was thinking about Kinji? I rubbed my eyes with my hands and opened them once again, my chest bursting with anticipation. Phew, it wasn't a hallucination. Kinji! I was so happy that I ran towards Kinji. Kinji, it's you! You don't have to call me so many times. I can hear you. Kinji, you gotta just let me love you. Though his attitude was cold, that was befitting Kinji. I smiled even wider. You seem quite happy. Did you want to see me that much? Yes! When I nodded energetically, Kinji looked surprised. I'm happy to see him after such a long time, but I might have overreacted. Realizing I was acting too excited, I felt like a little embarrassed. You are capable of making such a pathetic face, and it seems I have no need to worry. Thanks, Kinji. Did he come here to check on me because he was worried? As you can see, I'm doing just fine. I see. I would like to avoid being spotted and causing a scene. Shall we change locations? The next big RPG game I want to try out is Rogue Trader game. What's that one? I don't think I've heard that one. Rogue? Is it like Star Wars Rogue? Rogue Trader. The one I've been playing with people, well, I've only played a couple times with people, is Lethal Company. Did I spell Rogue wrong? I did. Oh, Warhammer. Warhammer. Warhammer's really intense and intimidating. I don't know if I want to play that one. But Stephanie's been playing Baldur's Gate, and she really enjoys that, so who knows. It's more edgy Star Wars. I guess that's fair. There's way more like armies in that. I see. Oh, in that case, not a lot of people go there, so I could be the perfect spot to speak with Kinji. Honestly, I've been playing these so much, they've been taking over my life. I now write my schedule around Atomi games, so this is really where I've been. And then I guided Kinji to a shrine. There were many other shrines, but this one was the furthest away from the main gate and had hardly any worshippers visiting. I didn't know there was a place like this in the Redlight District. You didn't know about it either? So fair. No, I never stayed too long. Speaking of which, when he first showed me around the Redlight District, he turned down the courtesan who tried to seduce him. It was probably because he was on a mission, but maybe Kinji isn't interested in those kind of things. For some reason, I felt relieved. This'll do. It doesn't seem like there's many people. Now, Leah, answer me honestly. Firstly, how are you feeling? I'm fine. In an instant, Kinji extended his fingers towards me and gave me a powerful flick to the forehead. It was so painful that I couldn't even speak. I held onto my forehead with both hands and crouched down on the spot. Kinji, please hold back. You have only yourself to blame for lying. Have you seen your face in the mirror? I've been so busy lately that I haven't had the time to look in a mirror.
目のクマがひどい状態で接客できると思っているんですか?
Even if you're a Komoro, you're still a courtesan in training. Do you think you can entertain customers with bags under your eyes? Is it that bad?
ええ。ほら、僕の鏡を貸してあげます。
Here, I shall lend you my mirror. Saying that, Kinji took out a hand mirror from his sleeve. I took it and was shocked when I saw my reflection. The bags under my eyes look really awful. I was taking care of Okuni with this face. No wonder Okuni was concerned about whether I was resting properly.
人に指摘される前に自分で気づきなさい。と言いましたよね。
Did I not tell you to notice things yourself before others pointed out to you? Sorry.
まったく世話の焼ける子ですね。
You're such a troublesome girl. Kenji took a step closer to me. And to my surprise, he touched the bottom of my eyes with his thumb. Ow! It hurts! As Kinji rubbed my eyelids without any resistance, I became more focused on the pain than the nervousness of him being right in
目
front
の
of
ク
me.
マは血流を良くすれば多少は軽減できます。そのままじっとしていなさい。
You can alleviate the bags under your eyes by increasing circulation. Please stay still. I'm all right. Really, your concern is enough. As this went on, my skin might tear. It seemed that my frantic pleas reached Kinji as he took his fingers away from my eyes.
それもそう
He
です
does
ね。
not care.
僕がやってあげる義理はありませんので、あと
You
は
have
自
a
分で
point.
どうにかしてください。
I have no responsibility to do it for you. You can take care of the rest. Yes, thank you very much, I said and returned the hand mirror to him. When I go back, I should ask Okuni what to do when I get bags under my eyes.
次の質問です。きちんとした食事はとっていますか?
Putting tea bags on your eyes? I've never heard of someone doing that. I'm not sure. It feels like something you don't want that kind of liquid too close to your eyes. And then to the next question, have you been eating properly? You have heard of that? Interesting. I've actually been fine in that
宮地さん
respect.
から食事がかなり質素だと聞いていますが。
I've heard from Miyagi that the food here is quite frugal. It's true, but the brothel serves small portions, but during lunch my older sister orders some very fancy takeout. So in the end, I actually eat much nicer food than when I was in the Onya band. I'm truly grateful. I asked the other courtesans working at the brothel, but the money that Okuni spends on me was all from her personal savings. She's always so thorough when she teaches me arts, and I really can't thank her enough.
そうですか。いい友女のもとにつけてよかったですね。
I see. I'm glad that you're apprenticed to a good courtesan. Yes.
しかし、それならどうしてそんなにやつれているんです?
But if that's the case, why are you so thin? It's probably because my lifestyle has been all so messed up. We sleep so late, yet wake up so early. I didn't know until now, but courtesans have so many things they have to do. We have to take care of our older sister, and when it's time for the display, I study songs, history, and music, and then take care of my sister again. It's that on repeat, and there's so many things to remember. I haven't been able to proceed much with the investigation. I apologize. I have been looking to see if any of the people coming in, the guest or the Komuro and Shinzo studying with me, have bruises, but so far, I haven't seen anyone. I haven't heard any rumors about a courtesan with bruises either. There hasn't been any progress since then. After saying that, my mood plummeted. Kinji said that I would be able to handle it, but after this, he might think that it was a miscalculation.
何を落ち込んでいるんですか? 潜入したばかりで情報をつかめていたら苦労はしません。
What are you so down about? If we could get intel as soon as we infiltrate a place, then our job would not be so difficult.
もしそういう人物がいても巧妙に隠しているでしょう。その情報を共有してもらうためにはもっと長い時間が必要です。
Someone like that truly does exist. They're bound to be skilled at hiding. Finding that information will take time.
雑な行動をしてあなたの正体に気づかれる方が迷惑です。慎重に行動しなさい。
What you don't want to do is act rashly and have your identity discovered. You must act cautiously. I understand. It's just like Kenji says. If we get information in such a short period of time, then there wouldn't be any work. Though I want to get the information and quickly solve the case, if I rush and we fail, it'll go to waste. I might be better off being too careful. In the past, I would have felt dejected by those words just now. It might have panicked and tried to find information as soon as possible. I might have made a mistake and had my identity discovered. Rather than feeling down, it feels like words of encouragement. I feel the energy welling up in me. If I tell Kenji this, he'll probably say something like, "What a strange girl." Kinji was a vessel, so it wasn't like he said those words with the intent of encouraging me. But if I myself felt encouraged, that's not a word. If I myself felt encouraged by them, then wasn't that enough?
では、最後の質問です。他に変わったことはありませんか？
This is the final question. Has there been any other changes? Other than my lifestyle changing and it being difficult to remember so many things, has anything else changed? I tried to think about it, but nothing came to mind. Nothing in particular?
そうですか。
I see. I answered briefly, and he fell silent with a troubled expression. Is there something else he's concerned about? Other than what I reported to Kinji, I couldn't think of anything else. He said that he is last question, so maybe I should ask him some questions this time. Kinji may ask you a question as well.
ええ、構いません。
Yes, I don't mind. Are human and form folk still turning into Blightfall? Ever since the customer turned into a Blightfall, no other incident had occurred in the Redlight District thus far. I wondered if other districts were also free from any incidents. With my hopes half raised, I asked the
いつも
question.
通りです。
It's the same as usual. I see. It's still happening in other districts
お
then.
そらくあの病の大元は遊郭です。
The disease likely originated from the Redlight
遊
District.
郭自体を幕府の力で閉鎖できれば楽ですが、そんなことをすれば、幕府が営業妨害をしている形になります。
Our problems would be solved should the shogunate close off the Redlight District. However, that would also be considered an obstruction of
江戸の
business.
住民の不安、不満は増加し、暴動を引き起こしかねません。そこから良いかが大量に発生すれば、
It would
江戸が滅びてしまいます。
So sorry, Kenji. I would never talk over you. It would fan anxieties and frustrations and may even lead to a riot. And if it were to birth a horde of Blightfall, Ito would go to ruin.
だからこそ、確たる証拠が欲しいのです。
This is why I want concrete evidence. My back straightened at Kenji's words. If I find that evidence, then the shogunate can close the Red Light District with probable cause. That way Ito can avoid conflict. I have to succeed here. After meeting Kinji and hearing what he had to say, I was able to reaffirm the importance of my mission. Though I felt pressured from the current situation, I would not act rashly from my impatience. Speaking of, just what has Kinji been holding this whole time?
おや、これが気になりますか？
Are you interested in this? Noticing my gaze, Kinji lifted up the furoshiki cloth. Yes, what is it?
宮地さんに頼まれて、あなたへの差し入れを持ってきたんです。
Miyaji asked me to bring you a gift. Kenji, you're running errands.
僕がお使いするのはおかしいと？
Are you saying I shouldn't run errands? No, that's not it. It was just surprising that you agreed to it. I could feel Kenji's silence pressure, but he wasn't that scary. Rather, I even thought this interaction was fun. Okuni is a good person, but I would never talk with her like this. I must have felt that form of nostalgia. Thank you very much. Please thanks Miyaji for me as well. After I said that, I extended a hand to take the furoshiki cloth from Kinji. But Kinji suddenly hid the cloth behind him.
あなたはちゃんとしたご飯を食べられているようですから、これは不要でしょう。
Since you've been eating proper meals, I believe this may be unnecessary. Surely he wouldn't just take it back with him, would he? Wait a second, please. I know my older sister always treats me to food, but this isn't the same thing. I am happy that Miyashi's concerned for me, and I'm grateful for you for bringing it, so please let me eat that. I pleaded with him so fervently that I practically grabbed his sleeve to keep him from leaving. Kenji looked at me with an exasperated expression.
あなた、そんなにお腹が空いているんですか？
Are you really that hungry? Did my feelings not reach him? Apparently he saw me as some kid who was always hungry, but I didn't mind that. I have to properly accept Miyagi and Kenji's consideration.
まあ、食べ物を無駄にするのは僕も本望ではありませんのでいいでしょ
It was
う。ど
mine
うぞ
anyways.
差し上げます。
What do you have on your arm sleeve tattoo? I forgot to ask before. My sleeve is Alice in Wonderland. So it's got Alice, I have a Mad Hatter, I have a bunny right here, I've got a caterpillar, I'm trying to make sure I'm on camera, and then Tweedledee and Tweedledum are over here, but they're girls and they have flower dresses on. And then someday, when I have a lot of money again, I'm going to get the Cheshire Cat on my back, going from shoulder to shoulder, and then the Queen of Hearts is going to go on my other arm, and then I'm probably going to get the Jabberwocky, or actually I want to get the March Hare here, that way these two kind of match. They'll be the Mad Hatter and the March Hare on either arm, and then a Jabberwocky probably right here. It's the dream. And then someday maybe the Walrus and the Carpenter would be cute. I'd like some little clams. Honestly, I might try to do clams around my wrist because that'd be cute. And maybe even like the Walrus and the Carpenter here. Lurking. I just woke up from a nap. Bro, I kind of took a nap too. I got up, my sister was making food. I was like, meh. And then she left for work with the food, and then I just started chilling out. And then my friend called me and was like, hey, kids aren't going to the Christmas party. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I better wrap their presents now so I don't forget to, because I'm going to her house tomorrow to help her make tamales. And I want to drop the presents off so the kids can open them on Christmas or before Christmas and not after Christmas. So I had to make sure those were ready to rock. That's cool. I like my tattoo a lot. It got it about 10 years ago. It's like 10 years old. I had this part touched up, and I didn't even realize how faded it was until he touched it up. Like, he did a really good job of blending too. Like, he almost like refreshed this entire arm part of it. Thank you very much. I took the cloths from Kinji. Oh wait, I just realized this is the kimono she wore when she went to the fancy people dinner. I wonder what he brought. I untied the cloth, my heart pounding. It was a dish I'd never seen before. There's just fish on top of rice. Do I eat it like this? The fish had been sliced up properly, but I felt hesitant towards the idea of eating raw fish. I won't get a stomachache, right? As I wondered what to do, Kenji's explained the food to me.
初めて見ましたか？それは握り寿司と言うんです。
Is this your first time seeing this? This is called nigiri sushi. Sushi. I can say sushi. Nigiri sushi. Nigiri is rice, right? Doesn't that just mean rice? Nigiri. Nigiri. Yeah. Nigiri consists of hand-pressed sushi rice, topped with thinly. Yeah, so it basically means it's rice-based. Okay, just making sure. Kenji nodded as I repeated his words.
新鮮な魚を味わえて、味もなかなか美味しいんですよ。ですが江戸ではあまり浸透していないようですね。
Not only is it fresh, it also tastes rather delicious. It hasn't quite caught on in Edo, however. How much does it cost you to get your tattoo redone? As far as redone goes, I think I paid like $300 when he did this. I honestly can't remember, but my entire sleeve was over 2,000. So, and that was over the course of like 2 years. Like, I didn't get it all done in one day or anything crazy. That would probably make me cry. I'm trying to see if Elgato, how could you? We're in the middle of something here. Have you been outside of Edo, Kinji?
ええ、任務などで昔に何度か。ちなみにこちらはこんなものを作ってほしいと寿司屋にお願いして。
Wait. He said Miyaji sent the food. What do you mean you asked them to prepare something like this? Several times in the past for missions. By the way, I asked the sushi restaurants to specifically prepare something like this. Kenji went out of his way for me.
生魚を食べるのは抵抗がありますか？
Are you hesitant to eat raw fish? No, well, sort of, but I'll trust you. If Kinji had eaten it before, then I shouldn't get sick.
本来なら手づかみで食べるものですが、特別に箸も用意してもらいました。
If Kinji has eaten it before, it doesn't matter. He is a vessel that is like a form folk and they don't get sick. So if he had gotten sick from eating it, you'd never know. Normally you eat it with your hands. However, I had them go out of their way to prepare chopsticks. Thank you very much. Now that he mentioned it, I noticed there were chopsticks in the furoshiki cloth. Which one should I eat? On top of the large pieces of rice, there were pieces of mackerel, whitefish, shrimp, and clams. I'll try the whitefish. Though I knew it was bad manners, I decided to take the rare opportunity and eat just one. Thank you for the meal. Ikatakimasu. I opened my mouth wide and ate the fish with the rice. It's delicious. The rice was mixed with some sort of vinegar and it was properly flavored. To the top it off, the vinegar was a perfect match for the fish. I happily scarfed down the nigiri sushi as if my hesitation in the beginning had never happened. Thank you very much. It was really delicious.
それはよかった。僕も一ついいですか?
I'm glad to hear that. May I try? Of course. When one sees someone happily eating something, it's natural to want to eat it as well. I handed the sushi container to Kinji while smiling.
さて、どれにしましょう?
Now then, which one should I try? This almost seems like sass. Is he gonna throw the thing? How about the clam one? It looks like it would be really chewy and delicious.
いいですね。
Great idea. He used the chopsticks to pick up the clam sushi, but instead of eating it himself, he held it up to my mouth. Huh?
さ、お食べなさい。
We get a CG of her in the cute kimono. Now open wide. What does he mean by open wide? I'm fine. I'm full from the one I had earlier. Please help yourself, Kenji.
おや、あなた僕が持って帰ろうとしたら、私に全部食べさせてくださいと言いましたよね。
Oh, when I was about to take this back, I believe you said let me eat all of it. I didn't say I would eat all of it.
それに僕が一ついいですかと聞いたら、あな
Best
たは
CG
元
of
気
my
にう
husband.
なずいたではありませんか。
I mean, he's a little nefarious guy. And when I asked, may I try, you nodded so energetically, did you not? I did nod, but that was because I thought Kinji also wanted to try some. If he asked, may I try to feed you with one with my hands, then I would have shaken my head with all my might.
承諾しておいて、いざとなったらダメというのはひどい話です。
You'd make an excellent
あなたは
politician.
簡単に約束を反故にする子なんですか?
You agreed, and yet in the last second, you're refusing me. How awful. I didn't know you were that type to break promises so calculously. I'm sorry. I was about to apologize on reflex, but I caught myself. Kenji's messing with me again. He's trying to see how I react to get a kick out of it. I'd been so busy with other things lately, I'd forgotten what kind of person Kinji was. It was my fault for not checking first, but if I apologize here and act nervous, Kinji will tease me even more. And I want to show him that I'm also mature, at least a little bit. Okay, I understand then. Thank you for the food. I pushed aside the embarrassment and opened my mouth and ate the nigiri sushi.
あなた。
You must have thought I must not have thought I would really eat it. Kenji's eyes were wide open and I couldn't help feeling a sense of superiority. I'm always being teased, but I showed him. Hopefully Kenji learns his lesson and would think twice about teasing me again. As I thought
こんな
that,
ことをして恥ずかしくないんですか? 誰かに見られたら大騒ぎになりますよ。
aren't you embarrassed? It would cause quite an commotion if someone saw what you were doing. It's perfectly fine. We're the only two people here.
先ほど参拝客が来て、僕たちを見たら慌てて引き返していきました。もしかしたら噂になるかもしれませんね。
A worshiper came by moments ago and hurriedly doubled back. When he saw us, it might start some rumors. I was so preoccupied about getting back at Kinji that I completely forgot the possibility of worshippers coming here. I'm working at the Redlight District now, and someone saw me and Kinji acting so close. The color drained from my face. Kinji, what should I do? I asked Kinji in a panic.
冗談ですので落ち着きなさい。
I was joking. Please calm down. He goes like he's just rolling with the jokes. How could I calm down? Wait, joking?
はい、冗談です。
Yes, it was a joke. He got me. I thought I had gotten him back, but in the end, he got me back.
爪が甘いですよ。
Leah, you're too naive. Rather than showing him how much I'd matured, things had turned out exactly as Kinji had planned. As evidence of that, Kinji was looking at me with satisfaction. I'm so frustrated. But talking with him, I feel like some of my fatigue had disappeared. The unfamiliar brothel lifestyle must have made me lonely. Being teased by Kinji had left me feeling more comfortable than frustrated. Plot twist. We left the shrine after that, and the two of us walked down the path that led to the main gate. While I couldn't leave the main gate, I had managed to get permission to go with Kinji and see him off. Leah? Okuni?
なかなか戻ってこないから心配したよ。頼んだものは買ってきてくれたかい？
You weren't coming back, so I started to get worried. Did you buy what I asked you to? Yes, I apologize for being late. While apologizing, I handed over the goods that Okuni had asked me to purchase. I feel like she'd want you to hold on to those so you could carry them back because she is a geisha and you are not.
おや。
Oh. Okuni's gaze shifted to who was next to me.
やっぱり金次じゃないか。遊郭嫌いのあんたがこんなところにいるなんて。どんな心境の変化だい？
I knew it was you, Kinji. I thought you hated the Redlight District, but perhaps you had a change of heart?
僕の勝手でしょ。それより、あなたこそ彼女と知り合いなんですか？
That's my business, not yours. More importantly, do you two know each other?
ああ、身の回りの世話をしてもらってるんだよ。
Yes, I'm having her look after me.
あなたが言っていた姉さんは、奥にさんのことだったんですね。
So the older sister you mentioned was Okuni. Kenji let out a deep sigh. So Kenji and Okuni really do know each other. Maybe they have the same mom. That might explain things. Okuni was the replacement of the ancestor of the Kabuki. It wouldn't be strange at all if Kinji, a Kabuki actor, was interacting with Okuni in the past.
それにしてもまだこんなところにいるなんて、水教者としか言えませんよ。
I don't know how you've stayed in this place for so long. If I didn't know any better, I might think you were an eccentric.
ご挨拶だね。座長さんからキクリアの方は順調だって聞いてるよ。それもあんたのおかげだって大層褒めてたね。
How nice of you to say. I heard from the troop leader that Kikuria's doing quite well and that it was all thanks to you. He really put you on a
そう
pedestal.
ですか。
I see.
あんた、もっと愛想よくできないのかい？
Can't
せ
you
っかく綺麗な顔してるのに、もったいないったらありゃしないよ。
can't you be a bit more friendly? Such a waste with that pretty face of yours.
必要があればします。ですが、あなたに愛想をよくする必要はないでしょう。
Is there a need to? I can be. But there's no need to be friendly with you, is there?
その憎まれ口、本当に昔から変わってないね。
I see you haven't lost that barbed tongue of yours. After she said that, Okuni laughed loudly. Judging by their interaction, they had somewhat closer relationship than I initially
あ
thought.
あ、それ、ちゃんとつけてくれてるんだね。
You're still wearing that. Okuni pointed at Kenji's hairpin. It was a hairpin with a glass ball, the color of a pristine lake. It's the second time she referred to it as a lake. I'm pretty sure that's the item he's made from.
あなたもしつこい人ですね。その話はしないでくださいと前にも言ったはずですが。
You're quite persistent yourself. I thought I told you before not to bring that up.
おや、そうだったかい？あんたと会うのが久しぶりで忘れちまったよ。
Did you? It's been so long since I saw you. I must have
そ
forgotten.
れはそれとして、うちに寄っていかないかい？積もる話があるし、 この子とどうして知り合いなのかも聞きたいしね。
Anyways, care to drop by our place? We have a lot to catch up on, and I would love to hear how you two met.
僕はあなたと話すことなんて何もありません。
There's nothing more for me to say to you. Kenji turned her down without hesitation and immediately started walking towards the front gate.
ではまた。
I'll see you later. He muttered the words to me softly, and as he left and I nodded. He kinda gave off a colder impression than usual. I wonder what's wrong. I'm curious about Kinji and Okuni's relationship. Okuni seemed to know that Kinji doesn't like the Redlight District and about his hairpin. Maybe something happened between them in the past. When I imagined that, I felt something uncomfortable in my chest because she's hot. I unconsciously pressed my hand against my chest, and as I was looking down, Okuni tapped my shoulder.
さて、私たちも帰ろうか。
Now then, let's go home. Yes. Urged by Okuni, we walked towards the brothel.
金次にははぐらかされちまったけど、あんたどこで金次と知り合ったんだい？
Kenji dodged the question, but how did you two meet? I went to go watch one of Kenji's plays, and I was taken to the dressing room afterwards. That's when I met him. Oh, and Kenji's friend took me to the play. That's why I was able to go to the dressing room. The first time I greeted Kenji was in the dressing room, so I'm not lying.
へえ、そういう経緯だったのかい。金次はわがままで勝手なところがあるから、付き合うのは大変だろう？
So that's what happened. Kenji can be selfish and inconsiderate. It must be difficult to get along with him. I remember some of the actors asking me a similar question, and I shook my head. It was difficult at first, but I'm used to it now. You seemed rather close with Kenji. What's your relationship with him?
そうだね。昔ながらの知り合いってところかね。
Relationship, right? He's an old acquaintance, I suppose. We have matching hairpins. I'm assuming we were born from the same hairpins. It's a set. Looking at how Okuni squinted her eyes nostalgically, I couldn't see them as simple acquaintances. I can't imagine Kinji, who hates the Redlight District, being Okuni's customer. Maybe they were master and apprentice. Or perhaps they were lovers? My legs felt heavy and I stopped dead in my tracks. I didn't know that Kinji disliked the Redlight District, nor did I know anything about his hairpin. All I know is that he's a kabuki actor and that he doesn't play anything other than the onigata, that he protects Ito's peace as one of the Oniwa band. Outside of work, Kinji and I don't have anything to do with each other. I guess our relationship is superficial. If I thought of it that way, wasn't Okuni closer to Kinji than I was? The more I thought about it, the more Kinji's sushi seemed to lose its luster. I wonder what this feeling is.
置いていくよ。
Leah, I'm going to leave you behind. I can see more of her outfit. Okay, so she's actually like standing like this. She's so cute though. Sorry, I'm coming. As if to shake off the uncomfortable feeling in my chest, I hurriedly chased after Okuni. One night,
シノブレド、色にいでにけり我が恋は、物や思うと人の問うまで。
the blush upon my cheek, conceal it as I may, proclaims to all that I'm in love. Till people smile and say, "Where are thy thoughts today?"
心に秘めていたけれど、恋心が顔に出てしまった。何か物思いをしているのですかと、人に尋ねられるほどに。
Though I tried to hide my affections, it appeared upon my face to the point where people would question if I was lost in
お
thought.
客様に文を書くときは和歌を参考にするんだよ。お客様の中には知識人も多い。利口な女であればまたいらしてくださるからね。
When you write letters to your customers, reference poetry. There are many intellectuals among our guests. If you're a smart woman, they'll come again.
恋の駆け引きを和歌から学ぶ
Little
のも重要
snowy
だ。
buddy.
今日は実詩教えるから頭に叩き込んで忘れないようにするんだよ。
It's also important to learn how to play games of love from poetry. It's I'm going to teach you 10 pieces, so drill them into your head. Don't forget them.
Hi.
Yes! Everyone nodded as the chaperone's words. There were girls much younger than me, as well as around the same age. I mingled among them and did my best to study the poetry. I opened up my notebook and wrote down the poetry that the chaperone had just recited. The paper was already pitch black from the many lines of poetry we had written that day, so as not to forget. I'm behind everyone, so I have to study hard and not get left behind. I asked for more details about Komoro afterwards, and it seemed that originally it was a position reserved for little girls. Seeing girls younger than me know so many poems did fire up my competitive spirit, but above all else, I wanted to gain the brothel's trust. When I was with Okuni, I put all my effort into taking care of her, and when Okuni was working, I focused on my studies. My plan was that if they acknowledged my serious attitude, they would trust me and welcome me in part as their team. The reason why I haven't heard anything about that disease is because I'm still thought of as an outsider. If they recognize me as one of them, then I should be able to learn some sort of intel. For that reason, I can't slack off in my work or studies. To motivate myself, I adjusted my grip on my pen, trying to hide my affections. I wonder why they tried to hide it. Did they fall in love with a person who gave them no choice? Did Kinji or Okuni also have a relationship like that, perhaps? I recounted that what happened before, and my chest felt uncomfortable again. Lately, this would often happen to me at the drop of a hat. I thought it would get better after a few days. Why did I feel like this? Why do I feel like this when I think about those two?
集中できていないようだね。
Leah, it seems your mind is elsewhere. I'm sorry. As punishment, I'll copy the poetry 100 times.
いや、そろそろ休憩を入れる頃合いだ。私はちょっと台所に行ってくるから、あまり騒がしくするんじゃないよ。
It's more or less time for a break. I'm going to head to the kitchen for a bit, so don't be too nosy. I thought I would be scolded, but the chaperone left the room while popping the joints in her neck. She wasn't angry, but she did give me a warning. I have to smarten up a little more. Perhaps because the chaperone was gone, a relaxed atmosphere fell over the room.
やったー！休憩だ！
Yay! A break!
あら、大きなあくびね。やり手に見つかったら折檻されるわよ。
What a big yawn! You'd be punished if the chaperone saw you.
今はいないんだからいいじゃない。それにしても、あのやり手。あなたには優しいわよね。
Who cares? She's not here, but still, that chaperone treats you so nicely, doesn't she? A Shinzo with a... I don't know. A Shinzo with a tortoiseshell comb spoke to me. Really?
そうだよ。私や他の子が授業中にぼんやりしていたら、今頃折檻部屋に連行されていたわ。
You jerks. That's a Christmas gift that you now let the person who's getting the gift know they're getting it. I forgot to get milk earlier, so I'm adding it to the cart. Yeah, really, if me or the other girls were drifting off in class, we'd be taken to the punish room
あ
by
なた
now.
やり手に気に入られてるんじゃない？親方様にも気に入られてるのかも。
Maybe the chaperone's taken a liking to you. No, wait, the brothel owner probably likes you too.
気に入られてなかったら、その年でカムロになんてしてもらえないわよ。
Yeah. If you weren't well liked, they wouldn't let you be a Komoro at that age. The Shinzo with the tortoiseshell comb nodded. The tortoiseshell comb matched her hair really well, and I couldn't help but
どうした
stare.
の？私の髪に何かついてる？
What's wrong? Is there something in my hair? Oh no, I just thought that comb really suited you.
嬉しい！ありがとう。
Really? I'm so happy. Thank you. The Shinzo's face
実は
brightened.
ね、私、この櫛から生まれた形人なの。
To tell you the truth, I'm a form folk born from this comb. As expected, there was a wooden tablet hanging from the neck of the Shinzo who spoke. She was likely working at the brothel because form folk were given preferential treatment when working as a courtesan.
私のご主人はとっても優しい人で、長屋のみんなからも慕われていたんだ。
My master was a really kind person and he's respected by everyone in the row house.
そんな人だから、道具の私を大切にしてくれて、それで私が生まれたんだけど。
He took really good care of me when I was still a comb, and I was born because of it,
ご主
but
人の家には妹や弟がたくさんいて、そこに私まで加わっちゃったから、生活が一気に苦しくなっちゃって。
my master's family has a lot of younger brothers and sisters, so their lives became pretty difficult when I joined them.
それで、ご主人の生活が少しでも楽になればと思って、自分から遊郭で働くことを決めたの。
I wanted to lighten the load on my master as much as I could, so I decided to work in a brothel on my own. The girls born from the tortoiseshell comb spared no detail in explaining her reasons, so that was why she's here. I can't believe I assumed something like that. I'm so sorry. Huh? I completely assumed that you were working here because you heard that form folk were treasured in the Redlight District. I didn't know anything about your circumstances. I'm really sorry for assuming. The Shinzo didn't get angry and started to laugh instead of holding
そん
holding
な
her
ことい
stomach.
ちいち言わなくてもいいのに。あなたってすごく真面目なのね。それに、そういう考えもあったから謝らなくていいわよ。
You didn't have to go out of your way to say that. Seriously, you take things so seriously. And I'll admit, I did consider that too, so don't
気にする
apologize.
ご主人にも、私は形人なんだから大丈夫だよ。安心してって言って送り出してもらったの。
My master was also concerned for me. I told him that I'm a form folk, so I'm fine. Don't worry, and he set me on.
ご主人と離れ離れになったのは寂しいけど、私がご主人の役に立てるのなら嬉しい。
It's lonely being separated from my master, but if I can be of use to him, I'm happy.
早く立派な遊女になってたくさんお金を稼いでご主人のところに戻るのが私の夢なんだ。
My dream is to become a great courtesan, make a lot of money, and return to my master's side. I see I'll be cheering you on. If I can be of use to him, I'm happy. Huh. I'm the same too. I want to be of use to Kinji, who recommended me for this mission. I might be able to become good friends with her since we have similar ways of thinking. Can I ask your name? I'm
さきよ
Leah.
これからよろしくね。
I'm Saki. Nice to meet you. Yes, nice to meet you too.
さあ休憩は終わりだよ。
Alright, break time's over. At that moment, the chaperone opened the sliding door and entered. Everyone fell silent at the chaperone's return.
心臓はこっちにおいで。カムロはもう帰っていいよ。
Shinzo, come with me. The Kamuro can leave. Apparently, they were going to do individual lessons for only the Shinzos. Following along with the other Kamuras who were cleaning up, I also tidied up my study and utensils. The Shinzo and Kamuro and chaperone all left the room, and I was the only one left. Okuni is handling a regular today, so she won't call for me. She told me to focus on my studies, but should I go straight to my room? Or should I go and have some fresh air outside? I'll go for a walk for a change of pace. The Redlight District at night was even more lively than usual. Lanterns were lit everywhere, and many men were walking under them. You, sir, over there! We got lots of pretty girls!
どれ見せてもらおうか。
Alright, let me take a look. Guided by one of the young men, a well-built man walked towards a display cage.
男前ね。ねね私と遊んでいかない？
Oh, what a stud! Hey, honey, wanna play with me?
私のテレンテクダは天にも昇るって評判なんだ。 いい夢見させてあげるから私を選んでおくれよ。
Explain. They say my techniques can take you to cloud 9. I'll sweeten your dreams, baby. Pick
う
me.
ん。この友情にしよ
I'll have her. It's like number 3.
たっぷりご奉仕させてもらいますね。
Lovely. I'll be sure to serve you plenty. The well-built man disappeared into the brothel. The two of them are definitely going to... I tried to imagine what would be beyond that and blushed. Okay. Some time had passed since I started working here, but I was completely unused to these topics. I quickened my pace so that I could get away as fast as I could, but the same thing was happening in every brothel. Many courtesans were lined up in the display cages, and just as many men were judging their worth. The Blightfall incidents are still occurring in the city of Edo, yet this many people are still gathering here. Unless there's a pressing reason to do so, it would be impossible to close off the Redlight District. I remember Kinji's words.
江戸の住民の不満は増加し、暴動を引き起こしかねません。そこから良いかが大量に発生すれば、江戸が滅びてしまいます。
It would fan anxieties and frustrations and may even lead to a riot, and if it were to birth a horde of Blightfall, Edo would go to ruin. This is not where he said that, if he even said that during the scene.
だからこそ、確たる証拠が欲しいのです。
That's why I want concrete evidence. I'll do my best. Uh-oh, I hit a button. Well, it's okay. She was just talking to herself this whole time. Dang, I got so far. In order to do that, I need to work hard at my job and in the brothel and garner their trust. I've had my change of pace, so I'll go and study. Look, it's an Orion procession. Whoa, wow, what a big spender. It's the young boss of the Kimimuri Exchange. Man, that guy got it all. I'm jealous. The young boss of the exchange. I paused on my way to the brothel and focused my ears on the customer's voice. Tatsunosuke is participating in an Orion procession? But Tatsunosuke has Uriko. So it must be someone else, right? As I thought that I could hear the festival sounds coming closer, the young girls were probably Komoros. There were 2 Komoros, 2 Shinzo, and I also spotted some young men. Those are called umbrella carriers, right? The big, long-armed umbrella looked like it weighed quite a bit, yet the man holding it didn't look pained at all. Underneath the long-arm umbrella was a beautifully dressed woman. She's as beautiful as Okuni. She must have been the Taiyu of some brothel. Wait. When I saw the person next to the Taiyu, the blood drained from my face. Tatsunosuke. I rubbed my eyes, thinking it must be a mistake. But no matter how much I stared, there was no mistaking that Tatsunosuke was there. Why? What happened? My head was filled with questions. It had already been decided that Tatsunosuke would redeem Ruruko's freedom. And just the other day, he was worried sick about Ruriko and went to visit her at the prison house. And yet why? While I was in shock, the Orion procession continued. They came so close that I could see Tatsunosuke and the Taiyu's face.
おもてなしさせていただきますね。
They're gonna give you the best service.
それは楽しみです。ああ、お礼に手相占いをしてあげましょう。これでも駅舎顔負けだと評判なんですよ。
I look forward to it, and as thanks, let me perform a palm reading for you. I may not look it, but I've been told that I'm as good as a diviner. As a reminder, she saw bruises on his arms before.
嬉しい。ぜひ見てください。
Oh, that sounds fun. Please take a look. The Taiyu leaned against Tatsunosuke and spread out her hand.
君は生命線が長いから長生きします。病気もしないし、無事に年季明けを迎えられますよ。
Yes, your lifeline is long. You'll live long too. You won't get sick, and you'll be able to safely reach your expiration of service. Time period servants and courtesans are employed for. When that period is up, it's referred to as expiration of service.
本当ですか？じゃあ年季が明けたら辰之助さんのお嫁さんにしてくれます？
Really? So once I reach the expiration of service, can I become your wife, Tatsunosuke?
もちろん。君がそれまで健康で、ずっとずっと幸せでいられますように。
Of course, here's to your future health and your everlasting happiness. Saying that, he began to write words on the Taiyu's palm. The same thing he had done to Ruriko.
はい。おまじないはこれでおしまい。
The good luck charm is done.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much. I couldn't watch any longer and I turned on my heels and walked away. If Ruriko was to find out about this, Ruriko loves Tatsunosuke so much. If she knew the truth, she might collapse from shock. She might even wish she had never woken up at all. But in order to solve the case, we needed to hear Ruriko's side of the story. Because I was running without looking ahead, it seemed I had crashed into someone. I'm so sorry.
いえいえ。って、君は。
No. Wait. Leah. It's Hisakura, but he doesn't have a face. Why are we having him pop up more than once? The person I had bumped into was Lord Hisakura, who I had met at the brothel the other day.
この時間にこんなところにいるなんて、勉強から逃げ出してきたんだろう。わかるよ。おじさんも勉強はあまり好きじゃないから。
Since you're here at this time of day, I assume you're skipping studies? I get it. I don't like to study very much either. No, that's not.
おじさんと一緒にして悪かったね。
Sorry, I didn't mean to lump you in with this old man.
元気がないけど、何か仕事で嫌なことがあったのかな？
You seem down. Did something bad happen at work? Lord Hishakura really is a kind person. I didn't know if I should share something like this with the customer, but before I realized it, my mouth had naturally opened. I saw someone who's supposed to be engaged being close with a courtesan.
そうか。男ってのはどうしようもない生き物だから、好いた女がいても、一時の癒しや寂しさを埋めに、ここに来てしまうんだよ。
I see. Men are truly hopeless creatures. Even if there's a woman they love, they end up coming here for a moment of respite or to bury their loneliness.
とその男も。好いた女を嫌いになったわけじゃないから、安心してって言い方もどうかと思うけど。
That man must be the same. I wish I could tell you not to worry and that he didn't do it out of hate, but I don't know him.
まあ、男には男で、いろいろと事情があるんだよ。
The point is, men have their own issues to take care of. Does that mean Tatsunosuke has his reason for dropping by the Redlight District? Right now, Ruriko was in a coma. Tatsunosuke may have been trying to feel the loneliness he felt now that Ruriko wasn't there for him.
また近いうちにそちらの議論にも遊びに行くからね。
Anyway, I'll be dropping by your brothel soon. Yes, we'll be waiting for you. With a bright smile that said, "See you later," Lord Hishakura disappeared into the crowd. Lord Hishakura enjoys Okuni's dancing, so he might come to meet her. In any case, I've never talked to someone with threads of that color before. The threads around Lord Hishakura's neck were a deep purple. I think it's probably some sort of friendly emotion, but now that I think about it, I recall seeing lots of people in the Redlight District with purple threads. I wonder if that's a sign that they're sick. I wonder what emotion it represents. Even if I walked down the road, most of the people I passed by had purple threads. The purple hue shone brighter than any lantern, and I would continue to catch glimpses of them as I slowly made my way to the brothel. Purple is like a mix
ど
of
こに行ってたんだい
red, which
部
is
屋にい
anger,
ないから心配したじゃないか。
and blue, which is depression. Yeah, where were you? I was worried since you weren't in your room. Okuni? Greeted by an unexpected person, I raised my voice in surprise. Is it okay for you to leave your customer alone?
ああ、お酒をしこたま飲んでぐっすり眠ってるから心配いらないよ。
He drank a lot of alcohol and is fast asleep, so there's no need to worry.
それにあんたがしっかりやってるか心配でね。勉強部屋に様子を見に行ったらいないから心配してあちこち探し回ったよ。
I'm more concerned if you're doing all right. I went to check up on you in the study room and you weren't there, so I got worried and looked around for you. I'm sorry. I was told that I could go home by the chaperone, so I decided to take a walk as a change of pace.
そうだったのかい。勉強は大変だろうが、やり手からあんたは筋がいいって聞いているからね。
Was that what happened? I know studying may be difficult, but the chaperone told me that you've got talent. Try your best, dear. Thank you very much. Okuni is as kind as usual, and her threads are showing an affectionate pink. She's such a good older sister, and yet when I imagine that she might have a special relationship with Kinji, my chest feels so uncomfortable. At that moment, I heard the sound coming down the stairs and looked up at that direction.
お国とお前じゃないか。こんなところで何してるんだい
Okuni and Leah, what are you doing here?
ちょっと立ち話をしてただけさ。さて、お客様の様子を見に戻ろうかね。
We were just standing around and talking. I should go back to check on how my customer is doing. Okuni waved to me and was about to walk up the stairs when, pitter-patter. A courtesan was walking towards us from the end of the hallway, her steps faltering. Who is that? This is the first time I've seen her. Is she someone who recently joined the brothel? As she drew closer, the courtesan's appearance became clearer. Her skin was pale and lifeless, and her expression was void of any resemblance of emotion. There was nothing human about her. She had an almost doll-like eerie beauty.
お前どうやって抜け出してきたんだい
How did you escape? Though the chaperone had cornered the courtesan, she didn't move an inch.
ほらさっさと戻るよ
Come on, let's hurry back. Even when her hand was pulled, it was as if her feet were rooted to the ground. Likely fed up at this point, the chaperone tried to yank the courtesan's arm. For a moment, her kimono came loose, and her bare shoulder was revealed. And then I saw it as clear as day. She had bruises on her shoulder. I found someone connected to the disease. I have to hurry and ask about.
もう二度と勝手に出てくるんじゃないよ次に見つけたら承知しないからね
Don't you ever come out without permission again, and the next time I see you, I'm not going to stand for it. The chaperone hurriedly fixed up the messy kimono, grabbed the courtesan's arm, and disappeared into the back of the building. I was about to stop them, but I'd never interacted with the courtesan before. If I stopped and the courtesan asked a lot of questions, Okuni and the chaperone would be suspicious of me. I'll ask Okuni here. She shouldn't think it strange if I ask what happened after seeing how pressed everyone was. Okuni, who was that courtesan just now? What's that what the chaperone said, it's almost like they were imprisoning her. Why would anyone do that?
見られちまったもんは仕方ないね。
There's nothing to be done since you saw it. Okuni sighed as if to say, good grief.
あの子はおそらく戸屋にこもっていた遊女だよ。
She's probably the courtesan who's being confined to the Toya, a room in the Redlight District used to confine courtesans Who've contracted syphilis. Toya?
トヤってのは梅毒にかかった遊女を閉じ込めるための部屋さ。
The Toya is the room where the courtesans infected with syphilis are locked away.
まあ形人が主流になってからあんまり使われなくなってたんだけど、
Though they haven't really been using it since the form folk became the norm.
最近は天女の羽衣の印がついた遊女をあそこに閉じ込めているんだよ。
Lately, they've been locking away any courtesan with the marks of the celestial maiden's robes in that room. A disease of unknown origin spreading through the Redlight District of late, men and women alike have been inflicted. What are the celestial maiden's
あ
robes?
の遊女の肩にあざがあったのを見たかい？あれが進行すると首を経由して逆の腕まで一本の線でつながるんだよ。
Did you see that courtesan had a bruise on her shoulder? When it starts to advance, it goes across the neck and makes a line across the way to the other arm.
その模様が天女が羽衣を羽織っているように見えるっていうんで、ここでは天女の羽衣と呼ばれているのさ。
The pattern looks like the celestial maiden wearing her robes, so here we call it that.
あれにかかった遊女は人間離れした美しさを手に入れる。だけどその代償に気が触れるんだ。まあそうなるのはあざが一本の線でつながった場合だけどね。
Courtesans with the mark obtain an otherworldly beauty, but as a consequence, they lose their insanity only if the mark becomes a single connected line. Then why was she in the Toya? I was only able to get a quick glance, but the bruise hadn't reached that
気
neck.
が触れるって言っただろ。まあそれでもちょっと前までは梅毒の一種かと思って天女の羽衣が出た遊女も使ってたんだよ。
I mentioned they lose their minds, yes. Until recently, we thought it was another form of syphilis, so we kept the courtesans who had the mark in that room.
だけどその遊女がお客に怪我させちまってね。それ以降症状が出た遊女は隠すことにしたんだ。
The problem is the courtesan injured a customer. Ever since, they've been hiding the courtesans that show symptoms. Tatsunosuke as a courtesan with the mark before the customer was injured.
まったく変な病が流行っちまったよ。遊郭お抱えの医者に見せても原因は不明。お手上げだって言うんだからさ。
We have quite an odd disease on our hands. Even the district's best doctor couldn't figure out the cause. He just said there was nothing to be done.
しかも形人も感染するんだからね。あんたは人間なんだからことさら用心するんだよ。
To make matters worse, form folk can get infected too. You're a human, so you should be much more careful. I will. I nodded firmly to Kuni's words. This is a rare chance, so I'll ask a few more questions. What if, and this is a big what if, I were to be infected with the celestial maiden's robes and locked in the Toya, what would happen?
病気が治るまで閉じ込めて完治すればまた働いてもらうことになるだろうね。
Well, we'd have to lock you away until you were cured. We would have you working again once you were fully back on your feet. The disease can be cured.
そうらしいね。天女の羽衣はしっかり休めば消えるけど体力の消耗が激しいとも聞くからね。
Sounds like an oxymoron here. I hear the celestial maiden's robes disappear if you get proper rest, but it's also quite exhausting.
長期の休みをもらって体力が戻ったら仕事に復帰する。だからさっき連れ戻された子もしばらくしたら治るんじゃないかい？
They take an extended break, and once their energy is back, they return to work. The girl who was just taken away will probably heal up soon. That was amazing information. If what I heard from Okuni was true, then Noriko, the case, everything that had happened would be solved. But I still haven't heard whether Noriko has woken up. There might be some method other than resisting that completely... I see what I did. There might be some other method than resting that completely cures the Celestial Maiden's robes. How do you cure the Celestial Maiden robes other than resting? If you could tell me the other method in detail.
あんた、やけに気にするんだね。
You seem awfully concerned about it. Okuni furrowed her brow, seeming dubious. Oh no, she suspects me. I'm sorry, I was just worried about contracting it myself.
そういや、あんたは梅毒にもかかったことがないんだってね。不安になるのはわかるけど、その時はその時だ。
You go, Okuni. You can't even get sick. Well, you can get this new disease, actually. That's right. I heard you haven't even gotten syphilis before. I understand you're nervous, but if it happens, it happens.
大丈夫。お客ともあんまり接してないあんたなら、かかったりしないさ。
It's alright, honey. You don't deal with customers often, so you won't get sick. Saying that, she kindly patted me on the head. It pains me to lie to Okuni, but there's no way I can tell her the truth. I smile at Okuni as if my worries had been lifted. In order to investigate the illness, I have to go to Toyo. Even now, humans and form folk were turning into Blightfall in the city of Ito. I stared silently in the direction where the Koto-san and chaperone had disappeared. One early morning a few days later, after she saw a customer off, Okuni had returned to her room and was asleep again. Using the chance, I left the brothel and walked down Nakanocho. Last night, there was lanterns lit everywhere and it was lively with lots of customers. Tonight, however, it was so silent that what happened yesterday felt like a dream. I don't think anyone's looking, but I should be careful not to get noticed. While paying attention to my surroundings, I headed to the shrine. I'm surprised I let her wear her normal clothes, even on a normal day. When I entered the grounds, the entertainment district team, Yabuda, Kinji, and Otaru were already there. Sorry I'm late. I jogged towards them.
Oh, 久しぶり。
Yo, Leah! Long time no see.
一寸の遅刻だぞ。
You're slightly late.
それくらいいいじゃないですか。清彦さんはせっかちですね。
If it's just slightly, then it's fine. You're so impatient, Kiko. As soon as I heard Kenji's voice, my heart skipped a beat. Does my chest hurt because I ran all the way here? I pressed down on my chest with my hand and I took a deep breath.
そうそう。ちょっと遅刻しただけで目くじら立てるんだよな。
That's what I'm saying. He always makes such a big deal about being just a little late.
お前のちょっとは一寸どころじゃないだろう。一刻近く待たされた時は怒りで頭がおかしくなりそうだったな。
Your little late is not even close. Remember when you made me wait for almost a whole bell hour? I was so angry I thought I would snap.
まったく、あなたたちは相変わらずですね。
My word, you two never change. When I look at them, I remember when I worked in the entertainment district. It felt like it was years ago. I felt relieved at the familiar exchange, but it probably wasn't good to relax and let my guard down. Oh no, my vision is foggy. It might be because I haven't been sleeping much. But it's time to have an important conversation. I have to smarten up. I shook my head and smacked my cheeks in order to pump myself up.
お、気合十分って感じだな。しかし、今回はあんたのお手柄だったよ。これで病の原因を突き止められるな。
Someone's looking motivated. You did an awesome job this time. We'll finally be able to figure out the reason behind the illness.
アホ。まだ例の病が
こいつの潜入した技能で発生し、発症した遊女がいることしかつかめてないだろうが。
All we know is that the disease started from the brothel she infiltrated and that there's a courtesan with symptoms.
でもすっごい進歩じゃん。俺たちだったらそこまで情報をつかめなかったし、この子が技能に潜入してくれたおかげだろ。
Thank you, Otato. But that's still great progress. If it was just us, we wouldn't have been able to get that much information. It's thanks to her going undercover, isn't it?
まあ、それは否定しない。よくやったな。褒めてやる。
I won't deny it. You did good. I commend you, Leah. Yay! Thank you very much. Yabuda was almost nervous. Anyone praised me. Yabuda, who almost never praised anyone, praised me. I felt proud and happy at the thought that I was able to meet everyone's expectations.
金次の目に狂いはなかったってことだな。
There's two conditions. One's dyslexia and the other one's the one where words change. And I don't know the word for that one right now. Looks like Kinji was right all along.
ええ、僕は彼女がきちんと仕事をこなすと確信していました。ですので、この結果は当然ですね。
I always knew she would see the job through. I'm not at all surprised by this outcome. Life inside the brothel was difficult, but it felt like their compliments had blown all my fatigue away. It might be naive, but I'm happy that Yabuda, Otato, and Kenji trust me.
それで、フミに書いてあった戸屋についてだが、本当に見つけられなかったんだな。
So then, in regards to the Toyo in your letter, you really weren't able to find it. No, I checked all the rooms in the brothel but couldn't find anything like it. There might be a hidden room somewhere, it's just that I don't know where it is. It's hidden. I lowered my head in shame. I'd been searching for it the past few days, but I just couldn't locate the Toya. That was why I asked the members of the entertainment district to come here to see if they could offer any insight. I don't know. I mean, they'd have to be like a patron to actually go inside, right?
お前は全部調べたと言ったが、本当に全部の部屋を調べたのか？
You said that you checked everywhere, but did you really look through all of the rooms? Sorry, I wasn't able to check most of the courtesan's rooms on the second floor.
それは仕方ないんじゃない？人様の部屋だし、勝手に忍び込むわけにもいかないだろ
う。There's nothing you can do about that though, yeah? They're other people's rooms, and it's not like you can sneak in on your own.
まあ、遊女はほぼそこで仕事をしているしな。こっそり侵入するのは難しいだろう。
Well, the courtesans are usually working there. It would be difficult to sneak in. Yes, the chaperone's room is on the second floor, and the chaperone are monitoring the courtesan's activities from there too. If I make any strange moves, they would notice
う。
immediately.
賢明な判断だと思うよ。
Secret room's probably in the chaperone's room.
あんたが不審な行動をして追い出されたら水の泡だし。
It bears for reasoning only because we didn't actually talk about where we saw this courtesan show up, because like you saw the way she entered, you saw the way they left, so that should give you an indication of where this door might be. I think that's a smart decision. We finally found a clue. It would be a waste if you get chased out because you were acting suspicious.
確かにな。お前は潜入捜査向きではないし、
Now they're
今後も下
insulting
手
me
な
again.
行動は控えてくれ。
That's true. You're not suited for undercover investigation. You should refrain from any rash decisions in the future as well. I understand. I nodded at Yabuda's warning.
2階の線は薄いでしょう。2階には遊女の部屋があり、客の出入りも多い。
It's unlikely
そんな
to
とこ
be
ろ
on
に
the second
戸屋
floor.
を作るとは思えません。
There would be so many customers passing through. I can't imagine they'd build a Toya in a place like that. My older sister also said that about the Toya was a room locked away any courtesan who was infected with syphilis.
2階なら 閉じ込められた遊女たちが悲鳴を上げでもしたら客の耳に入ってしまうだろうな。金次の言う通り、2階の線は薄い。
If it was on the second floor, the imprisoned courtesans could scream and the customers would hear them. I agree with Kinji. The second floor is unlikely.
じゃあ1階？ 1階ってたくさん部屋があるの？
How about the first floor? Does the first floor have a lot of rooms? No, there's the kitchen, the nice show where the brothel owner spends his time, and the servant's room. That's about it. It seems like the second floor is the most spacious and has the most rooms since that's where they entertain the guests.
1階じゃないなら地下室とか。ほら、地下なら悲鳴を上げても聞こえないじゃん。
If it's not on the first floor, then maybe the basement? Like if it's underground, no one can hear you scream, right?
今日はなかなか頭が回りますね。僕も閉じ込めるのなら地下が有力だと思います。
Aren't you remarkably smart today? I also think that the basement would be the most likely place to lock someone up.
今後は食事を運んでいる奉公人をよく観察しなさい。人が閉じ込められているのなら食事は定期的に運んでいるはずです。
Leah, from now on, I want you to observe the servants carrying food. If someone is in prison, they should be bringing food to them regularly. That's right. I never thought of that. So, I'm so glad I discussed this with everyone. I'll focus on watching the servant carrying food from now on.
ひとまず、お前はその方向で動いてくれ。金次と大太郎は酔いかかした人間への注ぎ。
For now,
感染者別の共通点を探ることにする。
Buddha, I'm talking right now. Okay, like, pay attention. For now, focus your efforts on that. Kinji and Otaru will perform the snow sacrament on the transformed, and I'll look into common threads between the infected.
調査が進展してもやることは同じか。
And we're stuck doing the same thing, huh? Otaru placed his hand behind his head and
こ
sighed.
こまで待ちの姿勢が長いと退屈だよな。パーッと騒ぎたい。
It's so boring waiting around for something to happen. I just want to make some noise.
そうだ。事件解決したらみんなで遊びに行こうぜ。もちろん清彦のおごりで。
Hey, yeah, why don't we all go out and have some fun once this is over? It'll be on Kiyohiko's dime, of course.
なんで自分のおごりなんだ。そもそも遊びに行くならお前たちだけで行け。
Why would I ever pay for you? To begin with, if you want to have fun, go by yourself.
でも清彦だけ仲間外れにするのはかわいそうじゃん。
But then you'd be the only one left out. That'd be so sad.
そうですね。仲間外れにしてすねられても困りますし。
I agree, and we wouldn't know what to do if you started sulking because you were left out.
誰がすねるか。俺は一人が好きなんだ。やるならお前たちだけで勝手にしろ。
I'm not going to sulk, and for your information, I like being alone. If you're gonna party, then party or whatever on your own.
進展があったらお庭番に連絡しろ。では解散。
Leah, if there's progress, contact the Onryoban, alright? Dismissed.
小腹が空いたし、何か食べて帰ろうかな。
I'm a little hungry. Maybe I'll eat before I go home.
清彦、最近できた蕎麦屋に行かない？もちろん清彦のおごり。
Kyohiko, wanna go with me to the soba shop that popped up? It'll be on your dime, of course.
いかん。行くなら一人で行け。
No, if you wanna go, go by yourself.
引き続き頑張ってくださいね。
Yeah, please keep up the good work. Kinji also is gonna leave. Before I knew it, I had stopped Kinji.
何か報告し忘れたことでも？それなら二人にも。
Is there something you forgot to report? If so, we should tell the other two. No, that's not it.
では、どうして僕を呼び止めたんですか？僕に話があるなら手短にお願いします。
Then why stop me? If there's something you wish to say, then make it quick. Even though I was prompted, I couldn't open my mouth. Because what I was about to ask Kenji had absolutely nothing to do with the mission. It was about Kenji himself. I wonder if I should ask him his relationship with Okuno and the hairpin, and why he focuses on Onigata. What would I do if I asked him and he refused to answer? I also didn't have the confidence to properly explain myself if he asked me why I was posing him such a question. I shouldn't have stopped him. I should have just watched him leave. As I felt some regret about what I had done, Kenji looked at me with a fierce expression.
人を呼び止めておいて、黙りこくるとはどういう了見ですか？
Just what do you think you're doing? Stopping someone and then clamming up? I'm sorry. Kenji's anger was justified. I wonder if he's fed up with me. I was able to meet Kenji after waiting for so long, so I didn't want to leave while we were in this awkward atmosphere. I couldn't just ask him personal questions in this mood. All I could do was look at him.
今日の僕の予定は遊郭の見回りなんです。
I was planning to patrol the Redlight District today. Out of nowhere, Kenji said that to me.
とはいえ、まだ早朝ですからね。こんな時間から何か起きるとは思えませんし、しばらくここで時間を潰すつもりです。
But that is, as it may, is still be that as it may, it's still early morning. I don't think anything will happen at this time of day, so I plan on killing some time here for a while. After he said that, Kenji sat down on the curb. He's waiting for me to speak, right? Kenji, thank you very much.
さて、何のことでしょう。僕はただ独り言を言っただけで、お礼を言われるようなことはしていません。
Whatever could you mean? I was simply speaking to myself. I don't recall doing anything that would garner praise.
それで、あなたはどうするんです？
So what are your plans? Okuni would still be asleep at this time, right? May I sit down next to you? Kenji nodded. I thanked him once more and lowered myself next to him. The sunlight feels so nice here. Wah. A yawn reflexively came out.
あなた。
You. I'm sorry. I'm usually asleep at this time, so I was sleepy and I yawned, just looked out.
眠いのでしたら、店に戻ってはいかがです？そうすれば思う存分寝られますよ。
Well, not as much as I like, Kinji. If you're sleepy, why not return to the brothel? If you do so, you can sleep as much as you like. Not true, but I want to spend a little bit more time with you, Kinji.
眠気を我慢してまで。あなたの行動は理解できませんね。
To the point of enduring your sleepiness? I can't understand your action. Yes, I suppose Kenji was right. If I was so sleepy, that I was yawning, then I should simply return to the brothel. Kenji, if we separate here, I don't know the next time I'll be able to see you. I must have felt lonely at the idea. I never felt like this when we were working together. It wasn't that long ago, and yet it felt incredibly nostalgic over it. But if it's just loneliness, then I should feel this way for Otaru and Yabuda as well. Yet I wonder why I was only feeling this towards Kinji. Because Kinji's your favorite. It doesn't have anything about romance. It's just that's what's happening. With the warmth of the sunlight and the feeling of ease from having Kenji at my side, the drowsiness became unbearable. My vision started to blur, and it was difficult to stay conscious.
こんなところで寝ないでください。
Do not fall asleep here. I won't.
今にも寝てしまいそうなのに説得力がありませんよ。 まったく手のかかる子ですね。
That's hardly persuasive, considering you look as if you're about to fall asleep any second. My word, such a troublesome girl. I didn't even have the time to wonder what he meant. Kenji yanked my arm and I was about to fall asleep. Wasn't it a bit too forceful, even if he was trying to wake me up? But then I noticed that Kenji had rested my head against his knee. To my surprise, I was using Kenji's lap as a pillow. What? It was such a shock that my sleepiness was blown away. I hurriedly tried to raise my head, but my head was pressed down.
じっとしていなさい。さもないとこのままですよ。
Please stay still or else you'll be staying like this. Like this? I could hear the grinding noise that I shouldn't have been hearing from my head. I understand. I'll stay still. Kenji said very well and released my head from his hand. I'm saved. It was not an exaggeration. I truly felt relieved that he spared me in any case. Why was I using Kenji's lap as a pillow? Kenji, can you tell me why you've put me in this position? I ended up phrasing the question strangely, but that was just how thrown off I
あな
was.
たは今大事な任務を遂行している最中です。寝不足で倒れられては得るものも得られなくなります。
You're in the middle of executing an important mission right now. If you faint here from lack of sleep, you'll never find what we've come here for.
しかしあなたは店には戻らない。僕と一緒にいたいと言いました。それならここで休息してもらうほかありません。
Yet you choose not to return to the brothel. You say that you want to be with me. Then the only option is to have you rest here. I assume that was...
さすがに地面に寝かせるわけにはいきませんし、あなたのことです。肩を貸したところで寝ぼけて地面に頭をぶつけるのが目に見えています。
He's like, I pictured all scenarios. I couldn't bear having you sleep on the ground, and I already see that if I lent you my shoulder, you'd fall and hit your head on the
だ
ground.
から仕方なく僕の膝を貸してあげているんです。
So I have no choice but to lend you my lap. I see. So in other words, it was Kinji's answer to my own selfishness. But you wouldn't do this much for me normally. Then I had a revelation. This is your strategy for poking fun of me, isn't it? I'm not gonna fall for it.
違います。あなたの要望に応えてあげたのに疑うなんて失礼な人ですね。
That is incorrect. How rude of you. I fulfilled your wish and yet you're suspicious of me? You could have said that before flicking me. My forehead pulsed with pain from how powerful his finger flick was. I should probably check in the mirror to see if it was swollen after I returned to the brothel.
あなたはきちんと役目を果たしていますし、これからもあなたには役に立ってもらいたいと思っています。
You're fulfilling your duties with great proficiency, and I'm hoping that you can continue to be of use in the future.
これはあなたへの報酬なんですよ。
This is my reward to you. Reward?
ええ。僕は他のキコより人間との付き合いが長いので、人間という生き物が何を望むのか大体わかるんです。
Is he admitting he knows that my character has a crush on him? I've dealt with humans longer than the other vessels, so I generally understand what creatures such as humans want.
今のあなたは僕と一緒にいたい。そして休みたいという要望を持っています。 その要望に応えれば、次もよく働いてくれるでしょ
Right now, you want to be with me, as well as you want to rest in response to your wants. Then if I respond to your wants, then you should continue to work well. How logical.
う。ええ。僕はキコですから。
Yes, I'm a vessel after all. Kenji's kind actions were all part of his plan. Instead of feeling shock and learning the truth, I was more surprised that Kenji could also think that way. Kenji isn't just selfish and strict, he can act according to what humans want to. This could have been one of the reasons why everyone in the Kikuria was so fond of him. Kikuria. On top of that, I was useful enough to Kenji. He felt he should give me a reward. That made me so happy that I couldn't stop myself from smiling. I think
疲れたら遠慮なく叩き起こすので、さっさと寝なさい。
I will smack you awake as soon as I get tired. So it would be wise to get some sleep. Yes. I nodded and tried to close my eyes. If I think about it too carefully, this position is pretty embarrassing. I could feel Kenji's body heat from his lap, and I felt like he even had a nice smell. More importantly, the fact that Kenji's hand was placed on me made it hard for me to calm down. I definitely won't be able to sleep like this. But if I stay awake, Kenji would ask why I wasn't asleep. In that case, I don't know, man. Oh shoot, no, you know what? That was just a save point before. Keep quiet. Well, I thought that if I told him I couldn't sleep in this situation, Kinji would ask me what I was dissatisfied with. I felt like I'll say something unnecessary, so I'll just put up with it. I didn't feel like I could sleep, but if I closed my eyes, maybe my drowsiness might eventually return. Sit there with your eyes closed for like 6 hours. I closed my eyes and waited for time to pass. The wind feels so good. A gentle breeze came in and I let out a breath as how good it felt. When I did that, something touched my cheek. The slightly cold sensation traced down my cheek, making it its way to my ear.
やはりタヌキ寝入りでしたか。
Like I thought you were feigning sleep. When I opened my eyes, Kenji's eyes met mine as he peered down to look at me. I couldn't breathe from the shock. Upon seeing how I froze up like a statue, Kenji let out a deep sigh.
僕の膝では落ち着きませんか。女性のような柔らかさはないので、そこは我慢してください。
Is my lap not calming enough for you? It's not as soft as a woman's, but you'll have to put up with that. That's not the problem, though. At any rate, it was bad that my heart is to keep on staring at Kenji's face. I tried to lie on my side, but before I could do that, he grabbed my chin.
こちらを見なさい。
Leah, look at me.
返事は？
Your answer? Yes. I firmly looked back at Kenji's face. His clear skin, his cool features. I had always thought he was pretty, but that wasn't the only thing now. I wanted to keep on looking at him, and yet I also wanted to avert my eyes immediately. Such contrasting emotions arose in me, and on top of that, my heart pounded loudly in my chest. My face also felt warm, and my palms were starting to moisten from sweat.
あなたがタヌキ寝入りしたのに気づいた理由を教えてあげましょうか。
Would you like to know how I knew you were feigning?
気配と表情です。表情がこわばっていて寝ている気配もありませんでしたからね。
Your demeanor and your expression. Your expression was stiff, and the demeanor didn't seem like you were asleep.
僕に気づかれたくなかったらもっと演技することを学びなさい。
If you don't want me to notice, might I suggest learning how to act?
今の仕事でも使える技術ですし、学んで損はないと思いますよ。
It's a skill that would come in handy in your line of work, and I don't think there's a demerit to learning it. Kenji said that while meticulously tidying up my hair, which had become messy from the wind. He's going to be the death of me. My heart was loud enough as it was, yet if he did this to me, I felt like it would burst. I understand. So if you could please release your hand.
わかりました。
I understand. The second he lifted away his hand, I hurriedly changed my posture. I'll be okay as long as I don't look at Kinji's face. I curled my arms and legs up tightly and quietly waited for my heart break to settle down. Beat, not break. A little while after that, he said that he would smack me awake if he got tired. I wonder why he hasn't said anything yet. I knew this was my reward, but it felt like he was being too kind. Kenji, you're not plotting anything, are you? Would he get mad at me for saying weird things again? I asked the question nervously, and Kenji nodded with a serious
え
expression.
え。実はあなたに聞きたいことがあるんです。
Yes, actually, there's something I would like to ask you. Something you'd like to ask me? What is it?
白石の一族の力について教えてください。あなたは他人の感情が見えると言っていましたが、他人の心に干渉することもできるんですか？
Please tell me about your power of the Hakuseki clan. You said you can see others' emotions, but are you able to manipulate their emotions as well? Huh? I never thought that Kinji would ask me about my power. What do you want to talk to you about? I don't think I can do that. At least I think. I can see others' emotions, but I've never been able to do anything about them.
そうですか。では、今の僕に意図は見えますか？
I see. Then can you see threads on me right now? Okay, well, if I cough now, I tried. It didn't come out. Okay. At his request, I stared at Kinji's neck. I really can't see any threads on his neck. No, I can't see any.
わかりました。
I understand. Even after hearing my answer, Kenji didn't seem disappointed. Is that all he wanted to know? But I wonder why he asked. Could it be that he's felt something after returning to Okuni? I thought back to how close they seem, and a pain pricked in my chest. I also felt somewhat short of breath. Does it have something to do with Okuni? My voice was cold. I surprised even myself. The way I said it would give off a bad impression. I had to apologize, despite thinking that I found myself waiting for Kinji to say something.
なぜここでお国さんの名前が出てくるんです？
Why would you bring up Okuni here? Kinji looked like he was genuinely confused. The two of you know each other from long ago, and it seemed like you were close. Okuni also knew about your hairpin. Doesn't that mean the two of you have a special relationship? Kinji let out an exasperated breath. Was he fed up because I was asking an obvious question?
あなたは救いようがないおバカさんですね。
You're an idiot and beyond saving.
僕はキコです。 あなたもキコは心が封じられていると知っているのに、どうしてそういう発想になったんです？
I'm a vessel. Despite knowing that a vessel's heart is sealed away, why would you jump to such a conclusion?
だいたい僕とお国さんのどこを見て仲が良いなんて思ったんですか？
To what start? To that start with, just what exactly about Okuni and myself made you think we were close? Because she knew about your hairpin. You always wear it. It must be something really important, right? Before, when Okuni mentioned it, Kenji seemed to dislike the idea of bringing it up. I wonder if he'll tell me about it. My heart was hurting for a different reason now. As I swallowed nervously, Kenji reached his hand out and touched the hairpin.
お国さんが初めてこのかんざしを見たとき、前の持ち主と知り合いだと言ったんですよ。
When Okuni first saw this hairpin, she said she knew its previous owner.
それで僕をかんざしから生まれた形人だと勘違いして、何かにつけて持ち主の話をしようとするんです。
She jumped to the wrong conclusion that I was a foreign folk born from the hairpin and has taken every opportunity to try and talk about its owner ever
だから
since.
こちらも適当に話を合わせたりあしらったりして、それも結構面倒なので極力合わないようにしているんですよ。
I go along with her and brush her aside. In either case, it's quite troublesome. So I try my best to avoid meeting her.
幸いお国さんは遊女なのでここから出られません。僕から出向かなければ彼女と話すこともないと思っていたんですが。
Luckily, Okuni's a courtesan, so she cannot leave this place. I thought as long as I didn't approach her, I wouldn't need to speak with her.
まさかあなたがお国さんの担当になるとは予想外の展開でしたよ。
How's it unexpected if it's literally the brothel? Remember, expect everything. That's why you guys suck at your job. You miss obvious clues. To think you would be assigned to her, it was an unexpected development. He lowered his hand and sighed. So that's why Okuni knew about Kinji's hairpin. I didn't know whether Kinji was born from that hairpin. Like Kinji said, it could have been Okuni's misunderstanding, but there was also the chance he was lying. There's something only Kinji knows. That's something only Kinji knows. Tomonari had told me that I shouldn't ask what tool a vessel was born from. But I knew without a shadow of doubt that it was that hairpin, and that hairpin is the same hairpin that belonged to Okuni's master. It would be best if I didn't pursue this further. Thank you very much for telling me. But in that case, I still don't understand why you asked me about the power of the Hakuseki clan or the threads.
あなたには関係ありません。
That had nothing to do with you. I panicked at how quickly Kinji had denied me and wondered if I had made him mad. What should I do? Is he not mad? But there was no change in the air around Kinji. Since it really had nothing to do with me, perhaps he felt there was no need to talk about it. It's sad that he won't talk to me about it, but I'm glad that the two don't have a special relationship.
まさかとは思いますが、僕に話があるというのはそのことだったんですか？
I hope I'm not mistaken, but when you said you wanted to talk with me, was it about that? Huh, I suppose. Other than that, I wanted to know about why he's fixated on playing Onigata, but what I wanted to hear about the most was his relationship with Okuni. Kenji sighed at me yet again as I averted my gaze in
感情に
embarrassment.
左右されるなんて、人間は本当に面倒な生き物ですね。
Stop being so pretty, I guess, Kenji. Jeez. Humans are so easily influenced by their emotions. Truly the most troublesome creatures. That's not true, but it's not like you hate humans, do you, Kenji? You said that you spent more time around humans than other vessels, so you must like being around humans. That
うるさいですよ。いい加減、もう寝なさい。
be quiet, you should sleep now. Though I thought it was rude, a yawn came out of me because of the relief I felt. A little, just a little bit. My eyes slid
あ
shut.
なたは
You, Kinji? Did you say something? I was so sleepy my mouth couldn't move properly. There was no answer from Kinji. Instead, he stroked my hair. Kinji's hand is so relaxing. I wanted to do this forever. If I told Kinji that he made me feel safe like my father did, would he be angry at me for treating him like an elder again? That's not all of it. When I looked at Kinji's face, my heart skips. And when I imagine how he has a special relationship with Okuni, I felt an uncomfortable feeling in my chest. I never felt like this about my father. Thank friggin' God. I must like Kinji. Just as a friend, not just as a friend, but as a man. And as I thought such things in my fading consciousness, I drifted into sleep. Where is this? I gently shook my head, which was stiff,
目が
half
覚めま
asleep.
したか？
I see you've woken up. Kenji? That's right. I was sleeping on Kenji's lap. Wait, how long did I sleep for?
安心なさい。
Thank you so much for letting me sleep on your lap. How long did I sleep for?
あなたが寝て半刻も経っていませんよ。
Don't worry, it hasn't even been a half a bell hour since you fell asleep. I see. I secretly breathed a sigh of relief at how little time had passed. But still, even if it was for half a bell hour, to think that I was so deep asleep on Kenji's lap. Thanks to that, my drowsiness was completely gone, but I wonder if Kenji's legs were tired from being under me for the half a bell. But also, I guess I have to feelings for Kinji now. I've seen indications, of course, but of all the BRB washing dishes, how dare you? But of all the time I could have realized my feelings, it had to be right before falling asleep on the lap of the person I like. I bowed in my head deeply to Kenji, filled with embarrassment and shame. I'm truly sorry
ど
for
うして謝る
everything.
んです？
Are you
あなたへの
apologizing?
報酬なんですから謝る必要はありません。
It's your reward. There's no need to
それより
apologize.
そろそろ議論の人も目覚める頃合いでしょう。早く店に戻っては。
More importantly, it's about time for the people of the brothel to wake up. Why don't you hurry on back? Alright. I quickly ran my fingers through my hair to tidy up and just stood up.
大変でしょうが、引き続きよろしくお願いしますね。
I'm sure it may be difficult, but please keep up the good work. Yes, you too, Kinji. I lowered my head to Kinji and left the shrine. Those last lines felt more like a conversation between spouses than lovers, I think.
まったく騒がしい人ですね。
My, such a tumultuous person. I don't know if I said that right. Some time passed after that, and it was 6 at dusk. No one noticed that I had snuck out of the brothel, and as I did my usual work, it became time for the nighttime open house. Shinzos were in front of their respected brothels and playing sugegaki, and the nighttime open hours was much livelier than the daytime one. A simple shamisen, that's right, phrase that courtesan play in front of brothels to bring in customers. I don't know what that means. I listened to those sounds as I held a broom and worked on cleaning the front of the brothel. After I finish this, I have to return to the brothel and continue yesterday's study. As I thought that, I turned back to work towards the building. Loud voices came from inside. The day's festival would definitely continue until the early morning. There were many people, many beautiful courtesans lined up in the displays. It was the same as usual, except isn't that one of the courtesans I saw before who was infected with the coral maiden robes? Does she have purple around her neck? She had skin so pale that it sent shivers down my spine and somewhat black gaze. Even if I didn't want to look at her, my eyes couldn't resist her otherworldly beauty.
おい、あれを見ろよ。
Look at that.
人間離れした美しさだな。なんだか頭からガブリと食べられちまいそうな気がしてきたよ。
She's so gorgeous, it's scary. Almost like she'd bite my head off or something.
美人を
Good,
前
I
にし
hope
て
she
その
does.
感想はねえだろう。あ、でも、まあ、俺も似たようなもんだ。見てると、背筋がゾクゾクしちまうよ。
Trying to pop up a window, there was something I was gonna try. Maybe. We'll see. I was gonna play a little bit longer today, but my voice is like hurting. I'm gonna try and get to the end of the chapter. I was gonna see if anybody was streaming because my friends were telling me how to raid last night, and I was gonna try to raid somebody, but no one's playing. It's just so sad. That's hardly something to say about a beautiful lady. Well, I'm more or less the same. I'm getting shivers down my spine just looking at her. The men passing by just gossiped and didn't attempt to approach the lattice bars. Part of it was due to just how beautiful the courtesan was, but maybe they were also feeling an instinctual sense of danger. Okuni mentioned the courtesans with the central maiden robes are locked up in the toya until they're fully healed. So why is she on display? Could it already be fully healed? With that thought, I stared at the courtesan, but the bruise in question was on her neck. When I last saw her, it was on her shoulder. That meant her disease was actually gotten worse.
ねえ、あれって
Hey, that's...
療養しているユキよね。ねえ、ここにいて大丈夫なの？
Isn't that Yuki? I thought she was recovering. Is it alright for her to be here? The person named Yuki simply stared out into space with a blank look. Maybe I should report this. Definitely report this. I called out towards the young man in the brothel stand, a stand next to the entrance of a brothel at Sparker. Should she be out here?
あ、お前、なんだってここにいるんだ。
Huh? You? Why in the world are you here? The young man rushed into the display and tried to tug the courtesan out by the arm. It seemed that she had snuck in on her
ほら、
own.
行くぞ。
Come on, let's go. It wasn't clear whether the courtesan couldn't hear the young man. She continued to stare into
ぐず
space.
ぐずするな。
Stop dragging your feet. The instant the young man said that and grabbed the courtesan's hand, the courtesan, who had remained silent up until now, let out a groan.
なんだ。
What? The young man, was taken by surprise and immediately let her go.
ちょっと大丈夫？
Are you alright?
苦しいなら背中をさすってあげようか？
Are you feeling sick? Do you need me to rub your back? They must have realized this was something they definitely could not ignore. The courtesans around Yuki all gathered in a crowd when one of them reached out to rub her back in an attempt to soothe her. Suddenly, Yuki raised an ear-piercing scream. Everyone run away! But my warning was a second too late. In an instant, Yuki's body was covered with black threads and she transformed into a giant spider. Monster? It's a monster! Everyone get outside. Hearing the mayhem, the chaperone descended from the second floor. They then gave out orders along with the young men and started evacuating the courtesans outside. It was a panic outside as well. Everyone was running, prioritizing themselves when they saw the Blightfall had suddenly appeared. Now that it's coming to this, I have no choice but to defeat it. And yet I was unarmed. Why are you unarmed? Oh, that's right. This isn't the route where she gets a knife from Yoichi. I did have a hairpin. However, it would be nothing but reckless to charge at a Blightfall with that as a weapon.
今日の僕の予定は遊郭の見回りなんです。
I was planning on patrolling the Redlight District later today. She's like, it's an hour later. Kenji's here. Though the hour was late, it was most likely time for Blightfall to appear. Even if he had errands to run, there was a high chance he would come back to patrol. I'll look for Kinji. And as I come up with the idea, I started to run in order to search for him. That apparently was a mistake. Seeing me move quickly nearby, the Blightfall slightly, single-mindedly chased after me. No, I didn't think it would come after me. But if it's going to chase me, then I have to go somewhere with fewer people. I looked around and headed for an alley that seemed deserted. Keep forgetting like one thing every time. Hang on, my phone's ringing. One moment. was work questions. Even when I ran with all my might, the Blightfall's footsteps followed close behind. I couldn't turn around. Despite that thought, I couldn't run, but turn around out of fear. The Blightfall curled its long arms like a whip and was about to bring them down on me. That's nothing I can do. The second I closed my eyes to prepare for the impact, Leah, Kinji barged in between me and the Blightfall, preventing my death, and took the blow meant for me with his left arm. Kenji!
あなたは下がって言いなさい。
You must back away. The Blightfall continued to extend tentacles from its body and sent them towards Kinji. But he also blocked them all with his left arm, just his left. Not only that, Kinji grabbed one of the tentacles and tried to pull the Blightfall towards him. The Blightfall let out a groan and dug its heels in. To my surprise, Kinji's power was greater. Little by little, the distance was closed, and the sword in Kinji's right arm touched the Blightfall's wooden tablet. Its tablet cut, the Blightfall let out a scream, and black thread started to disintegrate from its body. It's the right word, but it was close enough. After she returned to her original form, Yuki limply collapsed on the spot. That's good. I can't see black threads anymore. Her consciousness would return after a bit. I'm worried about her, but I'm worried about Kinji as well. After all, he blocked the Blightfall attack with his bare body. Kinji, is your arm all right?
問題ありません。それより、あなたは早く議論に戻りなさい。
There's no problem. More importantly, you need to hurry and return to the brothel. After he said that, he pressed the sleeve of his kimono with his right hand. It was hard to believe that he was fine after taking all those hits, but that Kinji says makes sense. I did as he said and looked towards the brothel. When I did so, I saw the Komuro who had evacuated from the brothel were crying. They're so young, of course they'll be crying after such a thing.
大丈夫かいあんたたち
Is everyone all right? Then Okuni came out from the brothel. Though the bars of the display was destroyed, the first and second floor of the brothel seemed fine.
姉さん
Sister!
私たちもあんな風になっちゃうの
Will we turn out like that too?
大丈夫大丈夫だからね
It's alright. Everything's fine. Okuni crouched down and tightly held each one of the Kamuro's
姉
hands.
さん
Big
姉
sister!
さん怖かったよ
Sister, I'm so scared.
おやもうあんまり泣くとウサギみたいに目が真っ赤になっちまうよ
Oh my, if you cry too much, your eyes will become bright red like Mr.
うさ
Rabbit.
ぎさん
Mr. Rabbit.
そうさウサギの目がどうして赤いのか知ってるかい
That's right. Do you know why a rabbit's eyes are red?
知らない姉さんは知ってるの
No, do you know?
ああ私は長生きだからね他にもいろんなことを知ってるよ
I've lived a long life. I know all kinds of
姉
things.
さん教えて教えて
Big sister, tell us, tell us. The Komoro had completely stopped crying and were now tugging on Okuni's sleeves. From the looks of it, there's no problem. I can leave them to Okuni. The brothel seems
し
fine,
かし、
but more importantly, thanks for saving me this just now. If you don't mind, I'm gonna take a look at the injury on your arm. I'm worried. What I needed to concern myself with right now was Kinji. He said there was no issue, but until he could prove it to me, I wouldn't have peace of mind. I was shocked when I pulled back the sleeve on Kinji's kimono. The tentacle had left clear marks on his arm, and he was even bleeding from them. We, we have to perform first aid immediately. I pulled out a towel from the sleeve of my kimono and frantically tied it around Kinji's arm. The blood, it immediately... The wounds didn't seem deep, but because he was hurt across a wide area, he was losing tremendous amounts of blood. Seeing the towel stained bright red, my mind filled with regret of not having moved as carefully as I should have. Kenji, I'm sorry for causing your injury.
別に構いません。それより、良いかはこの一体だけですか?
It's of no matter. More importantly, was there any other blightfall? Was there only one blightfall? Yes.
左腕を使ったのは戦略ですし、あなたがそんな顔をする必要はありませんよ。
It was my strategy to use my left arm, so there's no need for you to make that face. Strategy? Injuring his left arm was a strategy, but what does that even mean? Coupled with the fact that he was hurt because of me, my mind was in a panic. Kenji turned his back to me, looking as if he didn't care about it.
この一体だけなら、僕は引き続き見回りをしますので、あなたは議論に。
If it was only just the one, I shall continue my patrol you should return to. Wait a second. What do you mean just
あなた
now?
が気にするようなことではありません。
It's none of your concern. Don't you try to pull the wool over my eyes. What do you mean by strategy? Until you explain yourself, I'm not returning to the brothel. Kenji.
わかりました。説明するので、大声を出さないでください。
I understand. I'll explain, so please do not raise your voice.
これが僕の戦い方です。
Leah, this is my fighting style. Kenji grabbed the sleeve of his uninjured arm and pulled it all the way up. There were countless scars, both big and small, covering it. Some of them even made me want to avert my gaze. I gaped at Kenji in shock. These wounds.
良いかと戦った時についたものです。先ほどみたいに自分をおとりにすれば、愚鈍な良いかは簡単に隙を見せてくれますからね。
Therefore, when I fought the Blightfall, if I used myself as bait like earlier, the foolish Blightfall revealed an easy opportunity.
この体は痛みに鈍いようです。こういった戦法をするのに最適なので、昔からよく使わせてもらっているんですよ。
This body does not feel much pain. It is perfect for this strategy, so I've gotten used to it in the past. Though his voice was light, what he was telling me was dark and heavy. I never noticed that Kinji was fighting in the way that sacrificed his own body. Why do you fight like that?
自分の体を利用して戦った方が合理的だからです。先ほどの戦いで僕が左腕を使わなかったら、
Because it's more logical to use my body to fight. If I hadn't used my left arm in the fight earlier, we would have suffered a grave injury.
それに、左腕を使ったおかげで、素早く攻撃に転じることもできました。結果的に左腕を犠牲にして正解でしたね。
And because I used my left arm, I was able to quickly switch to the offense. In the end, I was right to sacrifice. Please don't talk about your body like it's a tool. I am
あ
a
なたこ
tool.
そ何を言っているんです。僕は対良いかのためだけに作られた道具ですよ。
What are you talking about? I am a tool, created only to fight against the Blightfall.
目的のためなら何でも利用します。それが自分の体でも同じことですよ。
I use anything to achieve my goal, even if that includes my own body. But did you die because of that? But if you die because of that, it can't be undone.
構いません。新しい機構が生み出されて自分の後釜になる。ただそれだけの話じゃないですか。
I don't mind a new vessel will be created and they will succeed me. This is all there is to it. How could Kinji say such a thing? Is he seriously saying that it doesn't matter if he dies? Ridiculous. Even if they make a new vessel, they won't be you. People adore you as a kabuki actor, and everyone in the entertainment district team counts on you. No one would ever replace you. Please take better care of your body. If Kinji continued to fight like this, sooner or later he might die. But if they just... no, wait. Oh, I don't know. Because like I said, they destroy his tablet, but form folk, he's not. So I wonder how they could do that so he could come back and not have scars. If Kenji continues to fight like that, sooner or later he might die. I never want that to happen. I didn't want to lose Kenji. If that happened, then I wouldn't be able to stay sane.
僕の代わりはいない？僕がいなくなっても別の人間が女型として舞台に立ちます。
There's no one who can replace me. Even if I'm not around, someone else will stand on stage as an onigata.
それこそ有名な歌舞伎役者の道具から形人が生まれれば僕より優秀な役者になるでしょう。
In fact, if a form folk is born from a famous kabuki actor tool, they could become a far better actor than me. Wink, 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 wink.
娯楽街組に関しても大太郎は僕と同じ貴子です。僕がいなくなっても仕方ないで済ませますよ。
In regards to the entertainment district team, Otaru is a vessel like myself. Even if I gone, he'll simply chalk it up to being part of his job.
清彦さんがどう思うのかは分かりませんが、お庭番に所属している以上、それならそれで仕方ないと割り切るはずです。
I'm not sure how Kiyohiko would feel, but as long as he is part of the Onyoban, he should be able to understand that the situation called for it. Did you ever think about how I would feel? How much it would hurt me and make me sad if you were gone?
だとしても一瞬のことです。時が過ぎれば僕のことは忘れますよ。
So mean. Even so, it would only be for a moment. You'll forget in time as time passes. I would never forget you.
いいえ、忘れます。
Yes, you would.
しかし、どうしてあなたはそこまで僕の生き死にを気にするんですか？僕が死んだところであなたが困ることは。
But why are you so concerned about whether I live or die? That would be no trouble to you, should I?
ああ、そういうことですか。
You see how it is? Kinji nodded as if he understood something.
僕が死んだら、あなたを守ってくれる人がいなくなるのではと心配なんですね。それに関しては杞憂だと言っておきます。
You're worried that if I die, there'll be no longer have someone to protect you. Let me assure you that you have nothing to fear.
あなたは白石の一族の末裔です。吉宗様が欲する存在であるあなたを他の貴子も捨て置くことはできません。
You are a descendant of the Hakuseki clan. You are someone that Lord Yoshimun requires, and the other vessels shall not abandon you.
僕が死んでも他の貴子があなたを守ります。僕の言葉だけでは心配なら大太郎に聞きなさい。きっとあなたを守ると言ってくれますよ。
Kinji, hang on. Even if I were to die, the other vessels will protect you. If my words aren't enough, ask Otaru. I'm quite sure he will stay the same. Like, what a dense guy. I was at a loss for words. Kinji's thought that I was worried about his body out of my own safety. It made me sad and frustrated, and in time, even anger started to bubble up from inside me. It's not why I said that. I'm truly worried about you, and I simply want you to take better care of yourself.
どうやら僕の見込み違いだったようですね。
I see I've gotten the wrong impression about you. Kinji looked at me with a cold gaze. There was clear disappointment in his eyes.
先ほどの発言はジョーから来ていますね。あなたもジョーを押し付ける人間と変わらないということがよくわかりました。
Your earlier statement was from emotion. I see now that you are no different from the humans who push their feelings onto others.
僕にジョーを押し付ける暇があるなら任務を果たしてください。
If you have the time to impose your feelings onto me, then fulfill your mission. He was about to turn on his heel and leave. As he turned, I yelled at him. Please wait.
まだ何か。
Is there anything else? It's true that I acted on my emotions, but that's so wrong. What's so wrong about that? You're important to me. Is it wrong to wish that someone important to me doesn't get hurt? That they stay alive? You don't understand your own value. Even if you think of yourself only as a tool against the Blightfall, you're still irreplaceable to me. I haven't spent that much time with you, that's wrong. I still feel that I understand a lot about you in my own way. By wrong, I mean it's written wrong. I like you for who you are, Kinji. Even if you tell me that you misjudged me or you treat me like a nuisance, I will never stop worrying about you.
あなた。
You. Kenji pressed his hand against his chest and opened his eyes wide in shock. Make sure you properly take care of that arm. I said all I wanted to say. I turned around and returned to the brothel. And then, after the young miss walked off, I stood alone on the road. Partly because I was shocked by her words, but more importantly, I couldn't believe the change that was occurring within myself. This is the weirdest transition.
これはまさかこんなことが。
This is to think that something like this could. Within my chest, my heart was still continuing to beat rapidly, as if to remind me of its existence. I thought about that meant for a while. What? Okay. I thought about what that meant for a while. I don't know what the heck happened just there. My brain couldn't process words. That day, I was taking classes in the lesson room with Komura and Shinzo's. It was high noon. Normally, we could hear the voices of the courtesans in the daytime open hours calling out for customers all the way from here, but I can barely hear any today. No, it wasn't just today. It's been like this for a while recently. Even if there were less customers in the daytime open house compared to the night, this quietness was unusual. People must have heard that a courtesan transformed into a blightfall at this brothel. It happened during the nighttime open house, so there was a lot of customers. If a lot of people witnessed the incident, it was not unreasonable to assume customers would avoid coming here. I think you'd still hear them calling, maybe even more. I unconsciously let out a sigh and panicked as to whether the chaperone had heard me. But the chaperone also appeared to be zoned out and was staring off into space.
私が戻ってくるまで和歌を暗記しておくんだよ。
Memorize the poems until I return. After the chaperone closed the textbooks and placed it back on the table, she stumbled out of the room. She must also be tired, or they must also be tired. I had heard from Okuni that the chaperone and page boys were the ones who took care of the courtesan locked in the toya. If they worked nonstop in the toya, which was almost completely full, then fatigue would definitely start to accumulate. Yet another heavy sigh left me. I was in poor mood now just because of the atmosphere. Not just because of the atmosphere in the brothel, but more because of what happened with Kinji. I don't regret saying that to Kinji, but I wonder if there was a better way to say it. I was angry and I sounded like I was blaming him. Right about now, he might have been feeling that humans are truly troublesome creatures. Maybe he wanted to avoid contact with me. Maybe he'll just use the feelings I have for him to continue having help me. Kenji said that he would use anything for his goal. He even used up his body in combat, so he wouldn't hesitate to use me either.
あなたも病気になるのが心配なんでしょ?
You must be must be worried about getting sick too, right? Then the Kimura sitting next to me talked to me.
私もいつかあんな風になるのかって思ったら心配で夜も眠れないもん。
When I think about how I might end up like that, I get so worried I can't even sleep at night. It seems she thought I was worried about being infected with the celestial maiden robes, and that was why I sighed.
あなただって心配よね。
You're worried too, right? The Komuro invited Saki to the conversation, but Saki stayed silent, looking melancholy. Her face was pale, so she must have been worried about getting infected with the celestial maiden robe, just like the Komuro said.
ここだけじゃなくて他でも流行ってるって聞いたし、私まだ死にたくないよ。
It isn't just here. I heard that it's spreading in other places too. I don't want to die yet. I placed my hand on the Komuro's head and patted her as I started to sniffle. As she started to sniffle, the infected Kura-san didn't die. And didn't Okuni say it was mostly Kura-san's interacting with customers who got sick? You should be okay. Yeah. I continued to pat her head, hoping to ease her anxiety even a little bit.
ありがとう。
Thank you. I nodded at the Komuro's words. She's this scared because she's worried about getting infected by the celestial maiden robes. But she's probably more worried about what comes after that. After the incident, the shogunate gave the order to swiftly report anyone who was infected with the celestial maiden robes. And though we followed the shogunate's order in the beginning, the courtesans taken away by the government officials still hadn't returned. Who were those infected with the celestial maiden robe being executed? It didn't take long before the rumors began to spread in the Redlight District. There were breadwinners within the infected, and the brothel owners would not stand for it if that was what happened. If that was the case, they determined that then all of the courtesans infected with the celestial maiden robes would be taken to the Toya instead. After Yuki turned into a blightfall, the disease spread even more throughout the Redlight District. Because of that, the number of courtesans in this brothel were half of what it used to be. Incidentally, when the chaperone took the courtesans to the Toya, I tried to offer my help, but I was told that since it could infect even foreign folk, it was even more dangerous for humans. What they said was absolutely correct, and if I pressed harder, it would raise suspicion. What I can do now is study with the Komuro and Shinzo as normal and take care of Okuni. I was extremely vexed, but there was nothing I could do.
姉さんが辰之助さんにしてもらった手相占い、きっと当たってたんだ。
Excuse me, I'm sorry, what? The palm reading the older sister got from Tatsunosuke must have come true. She must not have planned on anyone hearing her. But I was next to her, so I could hear the Komura murmur. May I ask what you mean?
うん。いつだったか、辰之助さんが議論に来て、姉さんに手相占いしてくれたの。
I don't remember, but Tatsunosuke came to the brothel and performed a palm reading on the older sister.
その時、健康線に陰りがあるけど、幸せになるおまじないをしておくから大丈夫だよって言ってくれて。
At the time, he said there was a shadow on the heart line, but he also told us that he would perform a good luck charm so it would be alright.
しばらくして姉さんもあの病に。
A little while later, the older sister caught that disease. Is he causing the
じゃあ
disease?
私がしてもらった占いも当たるかも。
Then the charm he performed on might come true. At that moment, Saki, who had remained quiet until then, had opened her mouth. Saki, did Tatsunosuke palm read for you too? She
外
nodded.
の掃除をしていたら達之助さんに声をかけられて「頑張ってて偉いね。ご褒美に手相を見てあげよう」って言われて。
When I was cleaning outside, Tatsunosuke spoke to me and said that I was doing a good job. He told me that he would read my palm as a reward.
その時に幸せになるおまじないもしてもらったんだ。
When he did, he also performed the good luck charm on me. Tatsunosuke? I was appalled and it came out in my voice. To think that he's not only performing the charm on Taiyu, but on the courtesans too. Considering how bad Riruko's condition was, what could Tatsunosuke have been thinking? Even if he was lonely, it was completely unacceptable.
お前に話がある。私と一緒に来なさい。
Leah, we need to talk. Come with me. Oh no, is my girl sick? Then the sliding door opened and the brothel owner entered. He doesn't have a name. Just ignore that. Yes. I haven't been able to concentrate on my studies lately, so I might get scolded. Okay. I left the room and walked down the hallway behind the brothel owner. I was then taken to the Naoshao and prepared for the scolding sure to come. I sat down in front of the brothel owner. So what did you want to talk about?
お前には2日後、水揚げをしてもらう。
You're going to have your museiji 2 days from now. Museiji? After a long pause, I remember the meaning. I think it was a ceremony performed before Shinzo, courtesans, Suki Dashi, right? The Suki Dashi was the first day that a courtesan would start taking customers. But why me? I should have nothing to do with that since I was just a Komoro.
実は前々からお前のことを気に入ってくれている方がいるんだ。
To tell the truth, there's someone who's been interested in you for a while
お
now.
前の成長も著しいとお国から聞いているし、お前なら立派にやり遂げられるだろう。
Oh, Kuni told me that your progress is remarkable. I'm sure you'll be able to perform a wonderful job.
その方がお前の馴染み客になればたくさん金が入ってくる。年季明けが早まるし、お前にとってもいいことだ。
If he can become your regular, you'll be able to get plenty of funding. Your expiration of term will come sooner, so you'll be better off
しかも
too.
大変ありがたいことに、お前の水揚げにも大金を払うとおっしゃってくれた。
On top of that, he graciously offered to pay good coin for your museiji.
本来ならその道に熟達した人に依頼するんだが、その方はお前を一から自分好みに染めたいようでね。それで水揚げにも金を払うという流れになったんだよ。
Normally we'd commission a professional, but it seems he wants to train you from the ground up. Oh goody. That's why he's paying for your musueshi. The brothel owner was saying a lot, but I couldn't even process half of it. However, there was something that I couldn't stop wondering about. Who is it? Who would want me? Could it be a man who was here, who led me down the hallway once, who makes kimonos? I had greeted customers as part of my job, taking care of Okuni, but I could count them on one hand. Just whose eye had I caught, considering I barely had any chance to come into contact with customers?
久倉様だよ。
初めて見た時からお前を気に入ってくださってね。ぜひ自分に水揚げをさせてくれと熱心に頼まれたんだ。
It's Lord Hasakura. He liked you ever since he first saw you, who's very interested in performing your mizueshi.
今までお前にそういう教育をさせなかったのも久倉様のご要望だ。久倉様はお前のような世間連れしていない遊女が一番のお好みなんだよ。
It was Lord Hasuseki's request that we not teach you any of that sort of thing. Lord Hisakura prefers innocent and unworldly courtesans like
現
yourself.
に他の義郎でも久倉様に水揚げされて今ではお職を務めるほどになった遊女もいる。久倉様のお目にかなってお前は幸せ者だね。
Some courtesans who had their museji done by Lord Hisakura eventually became top performers in their own brothels. You're lucky that you caught his eye, Lord Hisakura.
また近いうちにそちらの義郎にも遊び。
You told him. That's what he meant. He'd be coming to perform my museji. And yet I stupidly answered that I would be waiting for him. I'm such an idiot. This is the Redlight District. Just because I'm infiltrating as a Komura doesn't mean that I can let my guard down. I finally realized that the deep purple he showed when he was looking at me was lust. And it wasn't strange that most of the people who come to the Redlight District also had that color considering the type of work here. I never want to spend a night in bed with someone like that. Everything that Lord Hasakura did for me was because he wanted something from me. Now they were nothing but disgusting memories. I have to hurry and run away from the Musashi.
僕に情を押し付ける暇があるなら任務を果たしてください。
At that moment, I remembered Kinji's words. It was like ice water was poured over my head. If I panic and run away here, then I won't be able to finish my mission. Kenji might laugh at me for infiltrating a brothel without being prepared for such a thing. Luckily, there was still time. They had stationed an Oniwaban here exactly for times like this. I had to hurry and let the Oniwaban know about the situation so I could find a way to avoid this. I accept the job. I forced down the panic in my heart and agreed to the brothel owner's
で
request.
は久倉様にも伝えておくからね。2日後を楽しみにしておくんだよ。
Then I'll send word to Lord Hisakura. I hope you'll be looking forward to it. Dear goodness. Don't agree. Ask for a night at midnight that day. The Sugagaki outside had long since stopped, but I could still hear lively voices from rooms around me. I lowered my head to the male worker walking towards me and continued past him. And the second we crossed paths, I passed a letter into his hand. The man worker placed it into his sleeve and walked off as if nothing had happened. He was one of the Oniwaban Yabuda had stationed here. I handed off the letter. All that's left is to wait for an answer. I had an early start the next day and I didn't think I could fall asleep, but I had to return to my room and rest. The next moment I heard the sound of the floors creaking from behind me. I immediately turned around and... that's Saki? Saki looked around as if checking something and went down the stairs. It's a little it's a little curious. I descended the stairs after a pause and saw Saki's back as she left the brothel. She's going out this late at night? Just where does she plan to go? Sorry, Saki, but I'm gonna follow you. Saki walked down Nakanocho Street as if trying to hide herself from prying eyes. There's no way she could be seen off a customer at this time of day. For starters, she wasn't taking any customer yet, so that was highly unlikely. In this case, it would probably I would probably be able to find out where Saki was going by following her. Careful not to make any sound, I followed behind. Saki unhesitantly headed towards the front gate. She continued to go past it. It was clear that she would be caught by the guards. Saki! Her shoulders jumped and Saki slowly turned back to face me. My voice unconsciously slipped out. For in Saki's hand was held a stamp that permitted her to go outside. Why do you have that?
実は昼間表で拾って持ち主が困ってるとは思ったけど
Actually,
これがあれば外に出られるから
I picked it up. Picked it out. It was picked out front this afternoon. I was picked it out. Oh my god. I picked it up out front this afternoon. I know its owners would be in trouble, but if I have this, I can go outside. Saying this, Saki clutched the stamp tighter. You told me before your dream is to make a lot of money and then return to your owner, didn't you? So how could you do something like
天女の羽
escape?
衣にご主人がかかったって風の噂で聞いて心配で様子を見たらすぐ戻ってくるからお願い見逃して
I heard my owner caught the celestial maiden's robes. And look, I'll be back as soon as I see how she's doing. So please, pretend you didn't see anything. Her clutched fist was trembling. Saki adored her owner. She also witnessed someone infected with celestial maiden robe turn into a monster, so I could understand her impulse to escape and rush to home. If that's the reason, I want to let her go, but even if she had a stamp, wouldn't the guard notice? And there was also the chance that the person who dropped it had already told the guards. Can I really just let her go?
おい何してるんだ
Hey, what are you doing?
まさか足抜けか
Are you trying to escape? Then two men workers ran towards us from behind. Saki, run! I reflectively shouted. Saki darted towards the front
お前
gate.
はあっちを追え
You chased that one.
あ
Right. Of course, the male worker chased after Saki while the one who gave the order ran after me. Now that it's come to this, I have to buy time for her to escape. I ran in the opposite direction of Saki. It seemed that more people had appeared, drawn to the sound of the mayhem. If I can act as bait, then I might be able to help Saki escape from here at the very least. The only thing I could do now was believe in that and try to grab the attention of the pursuer. If Kinji were here, he would tell me I was acting based on emotion. But even so, I couldn't abandon her. She got caught. No, let me go. I heard her voice and looked behind me.
こら暴れるな
Stop
お
resisting.
前は足を押さえろ
Hold down her legs. No, no. More male workers swarmed out from the guardhouse and pinned down Saki's arms and legs. She wasn't able to get
観
away.
念しろ
Give it up. A male worker also caught up to me and grabbed my arm. I tried to struggle free myself, but yet another male worker came from behind and grabbed my other arm.
ちょっと眠っててくれよ
How about you just take a nap? And then I was
Whoosh.
unconscious.
戻るぞ
Alright, let's go back. I'm in a cell. I'm in a cell. Where am I? I tried to raise my face and pain shut down my neck. Wondering if I was hurt, I attempted to touch it with my hand, but due to my bindings, I couldn't move. Groans were the only thing leaving my mouth. It seemed that I was even gagged. They thought that I was trying to escape from the Redlight District. Wait, what about Saki? Is she safe? It was just groans. What if Saki was with me? She should give me some sort of reaction, but there wasn't any response from her. Am I the only one locked up here? Then where is Saki? At the thought, I heard footsteps heading towards me. Whoa.
この子自身も水揚げを承諾していたし、一体何が原因で逃げ出したんだか。
She agreed to the Mitsueji too, so I just don't understand why she decided to run
直
away.
前になって怖くなったんでしょう。水揚げ前の遊女にはよくあることです。
She may have gotten cold feet. It's common for courtesans before their museshi. These voices are the brothel owner and Okuni. There was no light in the room, so I couldn't see them, but I knew from the voices that it was those two.
桜様のご要望とはいえ、性の教育をしなかったのはまずかったな。
Though it was Lord Hisakura's request, maybe it was a mistake to not give her any sex
たとえ
education.
していても逃げ出す遊女はいるものです。それよりこの子の処罰はどうしますか？
Some courtesan will still escape even if you do so. More importantly, how will you punish
本
Leo?
来なら見せしめのために折檻するが、明日この子は久倉様に水揚げされるのが決まっている。
Normally, I would beat her as an example to the others, but she's going to have her museshi with Lord Hisakura
傷
tomorrow.
をつけるわけにはいかないし、それまでここに閉じ込めておこうと思うんだが、一応お国の考えも聞かせてくれないか。
Injuring her is out of the question, so I was thinking I should lock her in here until then, but what do you think, Okuni?
私もそれがよろしいかと。
I also believe that's for the
よ
best.
し、ではそうしよ
Alright, then that's what
う。
we'll
後
do.
ほど若い衆に食事を運ばせる。いいか、絶対に逃げ出そうなんて思うんじゃないぞ。
I'll have the Mel workers bring you food later. Listen, don't you go thinking you'll escape from here. I heard the sound of the floor close and the footsteps trailing further away. A whole day passed since then. Tomorrow that's something I never want to happen. Just imagine it sent chills down my spine. I tried to move my arms and legs in hopes I would be able to escape, but the ropes only dug deeper into my skin. Maybe if I'm covered in wounds, Lord Hishakura would reconsider having my Mitsueshi. At that moment, footsteps approached again.
食事だ。これから明日までお前を見張るから、下手な真似はするなよ。
Food's here. I'm gonna stand and watch till tomorrow, and so don't try anything stupid. It was probably a mail worker. He placed a bowl filled with food in front of me and plucked himself down on the ground. With a guard here, I can't even injure my own body. If I hadn't tried to help Saki escape back then, this wouldn't have happened. But no matter how much I regretted it, there was no turning back. I had to wait until tomorrow, feeling as if I was waiting for my execution. I'm trying to get to the end of this chapter because I'm starting to nod off. I don't know why I'm tired. It's 4 in the afternoon. Wait, is this a different room? It's her room. The next day, the mail worker carried me to a room on the 2nd floor. A futon was placed in the middle of the room and I was sitting on top of it. They even gave me a comfortable sleeping kimono. It would have been so wonderful if all I had to do was sleep. But my hands were tied behind my back with ropes, so were my ankles. I can't escape. Even if my limbs weren't bound, this was the 2nd floor. If I tried to jump out the 2nd story, I would injure myself, and mail workers were stationed outside the door until Lord Hishakura came. What should I do? Tears welled up in my eyes because it had been locked up. I had been locked up. I hadn't received any letters from Oniwaban. There was no way to avoid the Mitsueshi. And if this continued, I would have no choice but to share a bed with Lord Hisakura. What should I do? What should I do? It wasn't cold, but my teeth wouldn't stop chattering. Should I call someone? No one would save me. I also don't have a cell phone in this era. Should I fight back with all my might? My opponent was an adult man. Even if I fought back, would I be able to escape? If this was going to happen, I shouldn't have gone undercover for an investigation. It was my fault for infiltrating a brothel without the resolve that someone like this might happen. But even so, if I could turn back time, I wanted to return to the other day. I want to have a silly conversation with Kinji. I want to see his face. The thought, though we left ours on a sour note the last time we met, I had renewed sense of affection for Kinji. I should have just told him that I liked him. Please, wait a second. Could it be? Was Lord Hisakura already here? While I strained my ears, I heard the unmistakable sound of approaching footsteps. Oh no. I turned to the window. If I had to share a bed with Lord Hisakura, then I'd rather. I crawled on top of the futon and tried to approach the window. But the sliding door opened faster than I could get out there. No. Kinji.
何ですか?
What is it? Huh? I slowly turned my face to the door. And there I was. There I saw Kinji, the man whose face I had strongly wished to see. An illusion? Is this just a dream?
幻や夢でもなく現実です。文が届けられないと表のお庭番から聞いて、急いで駆けつけたんですよ。
It's not an illusion nor a dream. It's reality. I heard from the Onuraban that they couldn't deliver you letters, so I hurried over.
今から水揚げを回避する作戦を。
I'm going to tell you the strategy to avoid the... Kinji cut himself off and looked at my limbs.
随分と手荒な真似をしてくれましたね。
They were certainly rough. Kinji approached me and ripped apart the rope binding my arms and legs. Kinji? Once my arms and legs were freed, I immediately hugged Kinji.
誰が抱きついていいと。
It was said you could hug me. I wanted to see you. I'm so happy I could see you.
まったく。先日の異性はどこに行ったんですか?
My word, just where did all that energy from the other day go? Let me be her! Despite saying that, Kinji patted my back to comfort me. I mean, imagine hugging someone who gave you permission. It really is Kinji. I wanted to rub my face against him, but then I noticed what was happening. I'm hugging Kinji?
おや、もう終わりですか? わらべのようで可愛かったのに、残念です。
Is it over already? How unfortunate. You were acting as adorable as a child. Teehee. I'm not a child.
あなたはカムロなんだから子供でしょ。
Are not all Komuros supposed to be children? As he said that, Kinji smiled at me gently. He's saying I'm adorable and being so nice to me. Is that really Kinji? Perhaps it was a trick of my mind, but Kinji's presence also felt somewhat kinder. But I don't hate this. Actually, I'm happy. This is very reminiscent of the Ibuki scene where he breaks into the lab to get you. Maybe I'll have him treat me kindly like I'm a real Komuro. Then the sliding door opened once again. I hurriedly looked at the entrance and was met with Okuni's eyes. Not just Okuni, the brothel owner was here too. A scream almost came out of my mouth, but I managed to suppress it. No, I don't want him to be my Mitsueiji. I unconsciously gripped Kinji's sleeve.
キンジ、さっき言ったことは本当かい？
Kinji, is what you just said true?
ええ。そちらの男性の倍払うので、お嬢さんの水揚げの権利は僕にください。
Yes, I'll pay double what that man there did, so please give me the rights to Leah's Musashi. Kinji's going to perform my Musashi. Wait, I heard that correctly, right? I immediately looked at Kinji and he nodded.
ふざけるな！有名な歌舞伎役者だかなんだか知らないが、横からかすめ取るなんて盗っ人たけだけし。
Are you kidding me? You may be a famous kabuki actor or what have you, but this is thievish
この
behavior.
子は私が最初に目をつけていたんだ。だいたい、そんなことをしたらこの議論の信用問題にも関わるだろう。
I saw this girl first. Besides, if this goes through, it'll surely affect the reputation of this
なあ、
brothel.
どうなんだおい！
Well, won't it? Answer me. How did by Lord Hisakura, the brothel owner, nodded sweat beads on his brow?
おっしゃる通りです。久倉様はこの議論の馴染みですし、やはりここは変わらず久倉様に水あげよう。
It's as you say, Lord Hisakura is a regular at this brothel, so we'll still have you be in charge of the misu.
では、明日からも通わせてもらいます。相場のも弾みましょう。この条件ならそこの男性より、僕の方が乗客になれると思いませんか？
Then I'll start coming here from tomorrow. I'll also prepare a bouquet of flowers. With those conditions, wouldn't I be better VIP than this gentleman there?
信じられん。
Wow.
一介の遊女に花魁のような待遇をするなんて。
I can't believe this. A regular courtesan receiving treatment fit for an Orion.
親方様、そこまで払ってくれる気前のいい客を逃す道理はないでしょ。
Boss, there's no logical reason to let a generous customer willing to pay that much slip
だ
away.
が、
But
じゃあ、本人に聞こうかね。あんたはどっちに水揚げされたいんだい？
then let's ask the girl in question. Leah, who do you want in charge of your Misaji? I want. My answer was obvious. I want Kinji. I don't want it unless it's with Kinji. What?
キクリアの錦といえば、浮世絵になるほどの人気役者です。
Kinji of Kikurio is a popular actor, so popular in fact that he has become the subject of ukiyo-e.
その人に馴染みになってもらえるのは、うちにとってもいいことじゃありませんか？
Would it not be better if someone such as that became a regular at our brothel?
このバイタね！色も知らないって顔して、その男の常人だったのか！
Whoa, Hisakura, you need to back it off. You whore. Looking so innocent, and yet you were this man Swain all along. Wait, what's that?
許せん！お前は私の！
I won't forgive you. You're mine. You.
久倉様、そこまでにしていただきましょう。
Lord Hisakura, that's enough. The brothel owner used his arm to hold Lord Hisakura back as he was about to barge into the
大
room.
変申し訳ありませんが、この子の水揚げは錦さんに頼むことにします。
I'm terribly sorry, but I'm going to assume the word was supposed to be Kinji for her Mizuaji.
なんだと！私に水揚げさせてやると言っておいて、保護にする気か！
You said that you would let me handle the Misaji, and now you're going back on your word.
そのつもりでしたが、先ほどの言葉を聞いて、安心してうちの大事な商品を任せることはできません。
I mean, at least he's sort of helping. Lol. That was my intention, but after hearing what you said, I do not feel comfortable in trusting my precious merchandise to you.
久倉様は大切な馴染み客です。大ごとにしたくはありませんので、本日はお引き取りください。
Lord Hisakura, you are an esteemed customer, but I don't wish to make this a big deal, so please take your leave for today.
さあさあ、表までお送りしますよ。
Now, I'll see you out the front. Okuni smoothly slid her arm under Lord Hisakura's and smiled.
Yeah.
But no. Having his arm held by a woman as beautiful as Okanui made it impossible even Lord Kisakura to maintain his fever he had moments ago. She held the hesitant Lord Hisakura's hand and left the room.
お前たち、見せ物じゃないんだよ。そんなところで突っ立ってないで、さっさと持ち場に戻りなさい。
You lot, this isn't for show. Don't stand there. Hurry back to your work.
はい。
Yes. It seemed that there were courtesans milling around outside trying to listen. Even from the room, I could hear the sounds of them frantically running away.
錦さん、本当に久倉様の倍
Why is he calling her kin? That's not his name. Kinji, you're really going to pay double what Lord Hasakura did, yes?
ええ、二言はありません。
Yes, I will not go back on my word.
それなら早速この子の水揚げを。と言いたいところですが、今日はいろいろとごたついてしまいましたからね。
As much as I'd like to hurry along with her Mitsuaji, it did become quite chaotic
明日
today.
また改めてお願いできませんか。水揚げ代もろもろはその時に。
Could I ask for you to come back tomorrow? We'll take care of the Misaji fee and such.
構い
then.
ません。お約束通り、相場のもつけます。
I don't mind. As promised, I'll also include the flowers.
こちらとしては大助かりですが、しかしそこまでこの子に入れ込むのなら水揚げして即身請けしたらいかがです。
That's fantastic news for us, but if you're so interested in her, would you care to immediately redeem her freedom after the
太陽
Misaji?
であればそれなりの金額になりますが、この子はこの通りまだ店にも出していないカムロですし、身請け金はさほどかかりませんよ。
If she were a Taiyu, that would be quite the hefty price, but as you can see, she's a Komuro who hasn't even debuted in the brothel. Redeeming her won't cost too much.
すみません。そこまで心が決まっていないもので。もしその時は改めてお願いします。
I apologize, I haven't decided on that much as of yet, so when the time comes, I shall take you up on that offer.
もちろんでございます。では明日お待ちしております。
Yes, of course. Then I'll wait for you tomorrow. I feel like if you're a Taiyu, then the fee should be a lot cheaper because at that point you're making them a lot of money. Isn't that weird? That's weird.
お前たち、錦様を表までお送りしなさい。
Everyone, see Lord Kinji out.
Hi.
Yes. The mall worker outside entered and with their backs bowed, escorted Kinji to the exit.
明日会えるのを楽しみにしています。
I look forward to meeting you tomorrow. Yes. With Kinji gone, the only people in the room were the brothel owner and myself. The relief of escaping my plight and the anxiety of receiving a Mitsuaji from Kinji mingled inside of me. No, it's not like I was really having my Musashi, but even so, my heart was racing. Leah. I flinched when the brothel owner called my name. He thought of me as someone who plotted an escape and who rejected spending the night with Lord Hisakura. I tensed up in preparation of a scolding, but for some reason the brothel owner looked at me with pity in
お
his
前が
eyes.
逃げ出したのは歌舞伎役者に連母していたからだったんだな。
So you tried to escape because you were in love with the kabuki actor?
いいか、錦様がお前の水揚げを買ってくれたからといって安心するんじゃないぞ。
Don't relax just because Lord Kenji said he would buy your Musashi.
錦様は物珍しさでお前を買ってくださったんだ。もし本気ならすぐにでも身請け金を出してお前をここから自由にしてくれただろ
う。Kenji bought you because you're unique. If he was serious, then he would have paid your redemption fee and set you free then and there.
それだけの覚悟を決めてもらえるかはお前の働きにかかっている。
Whether
せい
he
ぜい錦様
eventually
に気に入られるよう頑張るんだな。
whether he eventually decides to, that's up to how hard you work. Do your best to get on his good side. This is not a bad owner. He's like, hey, look, I don't want you to be here. You don't want to be here. Just work hard. Yes. I solemnly nodded at the brothel owner's words. That was right. I couldn't make any weird assumptions. Kenji bought me so I could avoid my musashi. There was no feelings involved and I shouldn't expect anything, but I'm happy that Kinji was the one who came to rescue me. I remember when I hugged Kinji and my cheeks felt flushed. I shouldn't expect anything. I shouldn't assume anything. No matter how many times I told myself that, it was hard to keep my feelings in check. Do it, girl, though. I believe in you. There we go. Chapter Seox. Interesting. All right, I'm sorry. I started nodding off, so I'm going to take a break. That's probably I didn't sleep as well as I thought I did. But thank you so much for joining me today. If you'd like to see my older streams where I'm not as sleepy, you can check out all my VODs on YouTube. And if you're watching this on YouTube and you want to see my more recent streams, you can visit me on Twitch. I usually play games twice a week now, so I might actually write a schedule later. We also have a special stream coming up in 10 days on December 31st. We are going to go over a Tomy in review, what's coming soon and what we're looking forward to, as well as what games I already own to get an idea of how my path is going to be. Bye. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a lovely time, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see y'all later.